Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Player's Take, episode 172. I'm your host, Justin DeSimone, joined by my co-host. He's going to be hosting solo next week, Montrell Rice.
Oh, shit, that is next week, isn't it?
Yes, sir. I'm going on vacation. I asked my wife to schedule this flight early in the day so I could be back for the pod, but she didn't do it. But, you know, Montrell is graciously deciding to do the episode solo, so you know you guys will get a taste of that. That'll be fun. I'll get to listen to that too, actually, so that will be interesting.
It's gonna be terrible. Let's go.
No, man, you'll do fine. Don't worry about it. You don't have to go for 3 hours. You know, it's like a good solid 45 minutes or even 30. You know, I think I did a 30-minute one once. So
It's gonna be nothing but me talking like I'm tweeting. So be prepared for that, y'all.
That would be fun. That'd be fun. You just read your tweets off for the last week or something.
Yeah, I might do that. It might be one. If I can't find any news, that'll be my fallback.
Or do like a little segment on it, or just intersperse them throughout the show. You'll just like do a news story, and then you'll just read one or two of your tweets, and then go on to the next news story. You don't even say anything else. You just read the tweet, and then that's it.
Yeah, you know what? I wish you went on vacation this week, because this week would have been a really good week for me to go solo, because I had a lot of shit to say about Sonic.
Well, you're still going to have a lot of shit to say about Sonic, so we'll get there. All right, everybody. For those of you who haven't listened before, this is our weekly show where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games. We post at 6 a.m. Central Time on Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and your favorite podcast app of choice. If you'd like to send us a question or interact with us, you can send us an email to theplayerstake01, or you can interact with us on Twitter at theplayerstake. Montrell, let's just jump right in this week and talk about what we've been playing. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I will go first. But on a side note, if you guys can see our group chat right now, one of our friends is very drunk,
bro.
And he is having me
fucking
the time of his life.
Dude, he is blasted right now. I'm like happy that he is so relaxed that he's just living it up, man. I'm really happy.
Yeah, I know you.
Like,
I am too.
But it's very, very funny to watch. Like, he is fucking dude. He is in outer space. He's in the Andromeda galaxy, man. Like, it's so funny.
But I've been playing Apex. I mean, nothing new there. I've actually been having more fun playing Apex.
Yeah, okay. Let's stop. I want to talk about this. Like, yeah.
So,
are you actually enjoying it? Because I kind of am too.
I'm having more fun playing Apex, and I think as much as we were hard on the buffs, or I'm sorry, not the buffs, the changes of ranked when it first came out, I understand why people like it more, because it freed up. Now, don't get me wrong. We still run the tryhards and norms. I mean, we kind of try hard in norms, but we still have fun.
Yeah.
But like all the hackers, like we haven't been running to many hackers. Even when I was playing with Delion, I haven't been running to that many hackers and stuff like that. They all migrated to rank, because rank is really hard now, and it's like a super try hard fucking
sweaty
thing now.
It's even sweatier than it was. Like,
dude, exactly,
it's bad.
And
man.
I feel like it made rank worth something now. So a lot of people are really trying, and they're just going over to rank now. Because what I feel like was happening was people will reach Predator really fast in the old system, and then they'll just be like, oh, I already reached Predator or Diamond, whatever, Diamond Plus or whatever the fuck. I'm just gonna go play.
Well, there's no incentive to play once you get it.
Exactly,
your rank doesn't decay, and the only thing you're gonna do is lose points. Like, that's like the best you can hope for is to maintain Predator. So once you hit Predator, there's no point in playing ranked anymore, like from an incentive perspective. So
exactly. So in this new system, you not only does it force you to play longer in the games, but you have to maintain, like, you know, even in bronze, you have to maintain your fucking MR and or your LP and everything of that nature. You have to watch how you maneuver and everything of that nature. So I like it a lot. I like it a lot because it frees up norms for normal people. That's what norms are there for. That's what pubs is there for.
Us casuals, man.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not trying to play with fucking Shroud and them and fucking in ranked. That's them. I just want to play norms, and I like it. It's a lot more fun. I feel like I run into a lot a lot of
Well,
people who are still
yeah.
skilled, but like they're casual, like
They're
me and
like
you
they
are.
feel like they're on a even playing field with us. Like
Exactly. Yeah.
they're not uber pros. Like it's like their aim is a little off at times. Like I'm digging it though. It's like it's nice. It's as much as everybody's yelling about ranked, I'm kind of like fuck y'all. Like I haven't gotten to enjoy Apex like this in a while, so let me have this. Like you
Yeah.
guys can just stay in ranked, you sweaty pieces of shit. Like I don't. I like the fact because apparently, dude, it's so hard to rank up right now that there's like literally, I don't even think there are predators right now in ranked.
I think and that's what I was trying to say, like on Mike's in the Discord. I feel like they took the League of Legends route. Like it's super hard. Predator is their version of Challenger in League of Legends,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Which is super hard to climb in League. I mean, we all know that it's really hard to climb in League of Legends. Or I'm assuming it's the same for Dota as well. They probably have some kind of tier where
There's
after
no
you
so
pass
Dota's
Grandmaster,
weird. There's no tiers. It's like an MMR number you have, but
so
there's like there's almost like brackets though within that. So there's like 3K, 4K MMR. Those are kind of similar rankings, and then it goes all the
okay,
way to like 9, 10K MMR. People at
okay,
9K are like godlike pros. So
okay. All right. Well, like I said, it's probably like I just think it's way better. Just for normal people, man. Like I'm really enjoying the game. I really don't feel like I really don't feel like I have to rush to do anything. And people are fighting now as compared to when we played rank. A lot of people weren't fighting,
mhm.
and we weren't fighting, and we were playing sweaty as shit, and it just wasn't fun at all. Like I just didn't care, or I had to care too
The
much
only
rather,
way
and it
it's
makes me.
fun is when you get to final circle and there's like 4 squads left or 5 squads left. But
Mhm.
it's only fun. I like that in pubs. I hate it in ranked because it turns the game into this just like it's a soup. The combat's a soup. Like winning that feels like more luck than skill a lot of the time in a situation like that. And some people are like, man, this is what I want out of a BR. And it's like, I mean, kind of, but I'm sorry, like the whole circle mechanic makes those situations really not enjoyable because there's just such a luck factor to it. If you end up in a part of the circle that gets cut off early in the last circle coming in, you're dead. Like you're just dead because you have no cover. Like you're just gonna fucking die. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it can be fun, but I like where pubs are right now. They're enjoyable. I'm having fun with them.
I think enough people aren't talking about pubs to me.
Yeah,
To be honest with you,
yeah,
how fun it is now because rank has totally taken over like Apex right now, and
yeah. Everybody's about it for some reason.
yeah, and I'm glad all the sweaties, all the hackers, they're all majority of them over there. I mean, you may occasionally run into like one or two in norms now, but it's not nearly as prevalent as it was before. Like it just wasn't. Um,
Yeah, and if you're
so
somebody
I
who
say,
made Predator and like can't get out of gold this season, you probably weren't a Predator. I'm just saying that. So
yeah, because I was
that's how it
gold
should be.
four,
Yeah.
3 or 4 last season, and I can barely make it out of rookie. I'm in bronze 4, and I stopped playing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we're probably
um,
better than that, but like, yeah, I think in the old system, if we had tried really hard, I think we would have been able to get to Pred, but we never really like put the effort into it.
yeah,
Um, but that's the thing. Like, we shouldn't be able to get to Pred. We're not that good. So
exactly, yeah. So I say that to switch over to gears like League of Legends. I've been playing nothing but norms lately. And I'm actually enjoying the game. I play like 2 or 3 games, even when I lose, I just don't fucking care and I get off the game. Like it's just more fun and relaxed. And I'm not playing rank anymore. A couple of
mhm.
my friends when we play rank with them, help them climb. I'm thinking about it, but I was like, hey, if I'm not playing with y'all, then I'm not playing ranked. And I think that's just where I'm at right now with like League of Legends and Apex. Like I'm just totally done with the rank. I'm not done with it, but I'm taking the extended break from it. uh Especially with League because like the meta just really shifted really
Yeah.
drastically. They did like a durability patch and they changed a lot of shit around and everything like that. So
Hmm.
I'm just waiting for, you know, everything to calm down. They stopped nerfing stuff and buffing
Yeah.
stuff and everything
Hmm.
like that. And then I may jump back into rank. But
Hmm.
for right now, I'm just playing norms and I'm
Yeah.
loving it. So
Yeah, I think the thing with any of these games that have ranking systems, like have a ranked ladder or anything like that, like you have to evaluate personally. I think a lot of people just fall into this trap where they just go straight to ranked, like because they think it matters more for some reason. Like it, it to be honest with you, to be frank with most people with this who play games like this and play ranked, you're not good enough for it to matter. It's literally just there to keep you playing. Like me and Montreal, we're not good enough at Apex to actually our rank to mean anything to us. Like it's literally just a fucking badge. Like to us, it's not like we're not pros. We're not going to tournaments. We're not doing anything like that. It's like kind of just a meaningless climb to me. That's the way I view it ultimately. So that's why I don't play ranked in most of these games because you have to play differently in most games that have a ranking system. Like ranked and pubs are different. Pubs is more like free form. You can do what you want. You can do some weird strategies. This is true of MOBAs as well. Like you can do weird shit that you don't normally do. People will play out of position. Like it, but it doesn't matter. Nobody cares because you're playing pubs. You know, it's like there are people who care and they're fucking idiots and fuck them. But um, it's true in Apex as well. It's true in any of these BRs that have ranked, or any game that has ranked, really. So you have to evaluate: is climbing itself fun for you? Is that something that actually brings you joy when you're playing the game? Because if it doesn't, then you shouldn't be playing ranked. That's kind of where I come down on it. And to be frank, I don't remember the last game I played where I actually enjoyed the climb of climbing a ranked system. Like I don't find it fun. I play games to play the game, not the meta game of ranked climbing. So I oftentimes just I don't play ranked in games. Like Dota, like I was pretty good at Dota. I probably would have had a pretty decent MMR. But I didn't care. I don't play Dota to play ranked. I play Dota to play Dota, you know?
yeah,
So
and that's kind of where I landed on League of Legends. Like I have two of my favorite characters. I have Kindred and I have Silas,
mhm,
or three. I have Samira as well.
mhm.
And I think Silas is meta. I don't know. I know Kendra is sometime in between metas, and then Samira is like in between. She's sometime good and sometime bad.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, I figured out like with jungle, I can get away with playing like just Kindred jungle and playing Warwick. I can get away with that because jungle is very different than the other roles. So I can get away with playing a one trick pony in those roles. I try to do that with mid lane.
Yeah.
You can't do that because you will lose certain matchups no matter how good you are.
Yeah.
Like there like you can be really good and know your character front to back, but there are just characters that just beat that character. Whereas with jungle, even though there may be characters that beat Kendrick, I'm not interacting with that character and I'm not interacting with the other enemy jungler directly. It's an indirect thing. I know as a jungler, like, okay, Nocturne beats me or Zinzao beats me if I meet him in River level 3. He's gonna fuck me up as Kindred. So I can take other paths to like, okay, I'm just gonna fucking permagang now because I can't fight Jinzhao. I can't invade Jinzhao. I can't do anything of that
Yeah.
nature.
Yeah.
I have other routes. Whereas with I'm playing in lane, I have to either play the meta or not play that lane at all. And I'd rather just not play the lanes at all because I can't one trick pony in those things. I love the characters I play, but I don't love the positions they play, if that makes any sense. So when I'm playing norms and
Mhm.
I'm playing my character Silas in mid lane, I can play him and I can play him very decently because the other team, they're playing norms either their first time in the character or they're like, just playing for fucking fun. Like everybody's not picking the meta pick. It's not the S tier champion I'm going against who's fucking overpowered. You know what I'm saying? So uh when particularly in lane, you have to pick, you almost have to go with the meta. And I just don't like that in ranked. But that's what ranked is about. Ranked is about winning. It doesn't matter who your favorite character is. It's what's the
Mhm.
best character for the team
Yeah.
at the time to win.
Right.
And that, like I said, that only the one trick thing only works in jungle. It doesn't work in other positions, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's the thing in a game like League or Dota or MOBAs in general. Like, yeah, when you're playing to win, you have to play certain characters, like whatever's the meta at the given any given time. Um, you can't play who you like unless they're meta, you know? So you
Yeah,
have to
exactly.
play meta characters. And that is the reason I don't play ranked in, especially in a MOBA, because I like, dude, like in Dota, like I fucking love Timbersaw, but he's not always meta, you know? It's like, and if he's not, I can't pick him. So it's like I have to pick a character. Dude, I might have to pick a character that I don't really like that much. I might know how to play them, but I don't really enjoy them. You know, it's like,
Exactly. And the character, and I know some people are like, well, isn't winning enjoyable? But like, I can pick, let's see, like a meta character. Like I think Vigar is meta, right? So I can pick Vigar, and I know how to play Vigar meta, mid, and everything. It's just boring because he's a mage champion. He's a point and click champion.
mhm,
He doesn't have any combos like that. It's
yeah,
just like mages dominate mid lane. So you have to play those. Like assassins really don't dominate mid lane like they used to. So it's like you have to play these mage type champions. And I hate playing mages because they're boring as fuck to me to play. Like if I'm not playing support with them, I don't want to fucking play
mhm,
them. Like I just hate
yeah.
their play style. And not to say that mages are bad. They're just, to me, it's boring.
No, I agree with
So
you. I have the same feeling with mage characters. I like there's a few in Dota I used to play, but the only reason I played them is because they were like they had combo abilities with their spells. You
exactly.
know, it was like
Yeah.
they weren't strictly just like I'm trying to think of a character who's like really straightforward, who's like a mage. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I know what you mean, like where they're kind of like they just kind of cast their shit and then that's it, you know, and then they do it again when
Yeah.
it's off cooldown. They can't do anything else. Like they're useless otherwise, you know. And
Yep.
that's worse in League than it is in Dota because there's less activated items. Dota, even characters that are like that in Dota will have items that are usable that impact battle. So I mean, it's less of an issue there for me, but it's still a problem. I like Timbersaw is anybody who's played Dota will know what he is, but he's like a heavy he's a caster actually. He's literally like a caster, but he's a strength based caster that is super tanky. And he runs around and he has these crazy combo skills where he like throws these like whirling blades out and he can like chain grab a tree and pull himself toward it and he does damage to people through that and while you're chaining there's a move where he'll do this AoE around him. If you time it right, you hit that while you're doing the chain and you do a fuck ton of damage to people and then you throw your blade. It's like he's like a bursty character, but I find the combo he does like really fucking fun and enjoyable. There's a high level of skill to it as well. So that's what I'm kind of looking for when I play, you know. I mean, I don't mind like AD, like attack damage characters either, but those can definitely get boring pretty
Yeah, because
quickly
a
as
lot of
well.
a lot of the AD characters are like point and click or I'm sorry, not point and click, but they're auto attack champions or
Yeah.
whatever. They're
Yep.
focused around auto attacks. And
Yeah. Right.
that can get boring real fast too. But then you have some of these assassin type characters who are like you really have to know your cooldowns and your combos and
Yeah.
like I like the Silas character because he has a skill shot, he has a point and click ability, and he has a cast ability, and he can steal other teams' ultimate, so he can really change the dynamic of the game. And it's just like it's a really fun champion to play, in my opinion. So I don't know. That being said, like getting off of League of Legends, but yeah, I just like the state of pubs right now in these games. I think I'm just going to continue playing that.
Mm-hmm.
If I was streaming, maybe I would play ranked, but even then, I'll probably just play norms a lot. I don't. I know a lot of people who stream, they gotta play ranked though, so that's why I don't stream League or
Mm-hmm.
Apex because I'm not interested in playing that. I'm not
Yeah,
interested in
people want to
climbing right now.
watch people want to watch people climb because they can't do it, you know.
Yeah,
You want to experience it through somebody. Which I get that. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that with streamers. Like go for it, you know. That's what they're there for. But for me personally playing it's just not what I'm looking for at this point. So,
yeah. And then last but not least, I'm playing Rise. And it's okay. Right now, I watched a ton of videos on like things you can do before sunbreak and everything like that without actually watching sunbreak because I really want
yeah.
to keep playing the game. Um, but all the videos have mentioned like honestly, we did all this shit. Like, I have the weapons. Like, I have a fully built Azuchi weapon, like the early game weapons that you can max out early, but then they fall off late game for Rise currently. Like, those are going to be the meta weapons, like early game, you know,
Yeah.
because you're gonna fight those monsters first. So like I have my is it Kulala, the little chicken dude. I
Kuliyaku
have
or Yaku. Yeah.
Kuliyaku.
Yeah.
I have his weapon maxed out so that when G rank comes out, I can instantly max his weapon out for G rank or get it up to a place where I can do a lot of damage in G rank, sustainable damage, and carry me to the middle of G rank. So I have that stuff. A lot of videos said forget talismans, like don't even try to meld talismans, and they made a lot of sense saying that. Because they're going to come out with even more talismans, and they're probably
Yeah.
going to change some things, and
Well,
so
that's what
I've
I was
stopped
saying.
really.
Like, yeah, the talismans we have now suck dick, dude. They're so bad.
Oh yeah,
There really aren't many
uh,
good ones.
and I stopped. I mean, I have like a 2 gem slot talisman that I'm really happy with. A
Yeah.
2 gem, 2 gem 2 slots that I'm really happy with. I can do majority of my builds right now for it with that talisman, so I'm cool with it. Only thing I've been doing is gem farming and trying to like do speed runs. That's pretty much it. I enjoy doing speed runs in Monster Hunter, which is really weird
Yeah.
because I hate speed running,
Yeah.
but it's satisfying taking out like a high rank monster in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, man.
Where
I
normally
killed
we
a
took
Rathalos in like 7 minutes the other day. I was like, man, that feels
I killed it.
good.
I killed the Apex, the Azuros, in like 5 minutes. I was like,
Nice,
yeah.
dude.
I was
Nice.
I was countering the fuck
I
out of
mean,
them.
me and Andy at this point, we're decked, dude. We're like fucking wrecking monsters. We were fighting Goss Harag, and I like felt bad for it. Like it was it was nuts. So
Yeah, so I'm enjoying Rise, and I did spoil myself. I won't spoil it for you, but I personally cannot wait for Sunbreak. I saw some
well,
shit.
I looked at the
I was
weapon
just like,
skills because I had to know, did dual blades get fucked or not? And it
no, it
actually
didn't.
looks like they added a new silk mine that looks really cool. I'm worried that it's not gonna do enough damage to be useful, but it's
Wait,
something.
did you know you have a counter or you have a guard point move? I don't know which one it is, but you do have a guard point move.
Is it the one that throws you in the air?
I think so. I saw it, and they're like, because they're mentioning all the weapons that already have guard points or counters, and dual blades came up, and I was like, really? It has
Huh.
a counter, and it does have one. So
I haven't even checked
I'll
that.
send you. Yeah, I'll send you the video. But
The thing is,
yeah.
everything I looked at mentioned the kunai, the explosive kunai that I use. Like that's the
Mhm.
one everybody uses. So it
Okay.
must not be a very good guard point. Well, the other issue is that the guard point's not really that useful because Demon Flight has iframes. So the move that I like jump forward and jump in the air. Like when I'm
Yeah.
jumping in the air, like the movement of jumping in the air up until the apex of my jump, I'm pretty much in iframes at that whole time.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
it's
pretty
like,
good.
yeah, it's like with that, like there's not really a need for a guard point skill or a counter. Because yeah, that's why when you see sometimes you guys will get hit by something and dude, I'll just iframe through it and I'm just fucking the monster up while you guys are on the ground. Like it's fucking OP as shit. Like it's dual blades right now is like kind of some people say it's like kind of a weak weapon. I'm like, God, dude, not really, bro. I'm watching some of these other videos, watching like Great Sword, and it's doing like 200 or 300 damage for some of its little attacks. And I'm like, bro, I'm doing that much damage in like a few hits. It's like,
Yeah. Yep.
I'm fucking monsters up right now. So like my Demon Flight move, I was fighting Rathalos, and I was using a dragon weapon, which is his element it's weakest to, hitting it in the head,
Yeah.
and I was critting like a 2-hit crit for like 110 probably per hit, 105, 110, dude. It's like I'm fucking that's just the 2 hits. And then you jump in the air and you do this like 10-hit spin attack. It's like fucking it's just the damage is nuts, man. Like I'm fucking staggering monsters like crazy. So
Well, I was watching a video, and I kind of wanted to talk to you about this if we have a little time.
mhm.
But it's like they were saying like what's going on with Monster Hunter? What's wrong with Monster Hunter? Or is the series moving in the right direction?
Yeah.
And I don't know if this guy was just trying to get views or not or whatever.
No,
But
man,
I watched the video.
this is a thing, dude. This is a thing right now. Yeah.
Um, and we both been playing Monster Hunter for a while. You've been playing since Try, right? And then you started playing the other games, the
Yes.
PSP games and everything
I
like
never
that.
played the old
I
ones.
You never played the old ones? Okay. I've been
Yeah.
playing since the very first Monster Hunter. And so the very first couple Monster Hunters from like I'll even say all the way up to Try, The game was all about positioning.
Yeah.
There are very little, I would say, quote unquote, anime moves that you can do in the game.
Hmm.
Um, the game was really all about
It
positioning.
looked
Like
really
you,
boring to watch, like for sure. Yeah.
it definitely was. It was one of those games. It was a Dark Souls. I hate using that fucking reference, but it was like a Dark Souls as esque experience where it's not fun to watch, but when you play in the game, you understand the mechanics of the game and how the
Yeah.
monster works and everything. It's
Yep.
very satisfying to play,
Yeah.
and that's where Monster Hunter was at. And then I believe I don't want to say world changed everything. I think 4 or GU changed
Hmm.
everything.
Hmm.
Where a lot of the moves, especially when the charge blade came out, a lot of the moves became anime-ish.
Yeah.
And the long sword got like a lot of moves and everything of that nature. And it really changed in world. World was like the apex of changing.
Dude, dual blades became this like spinning windmill fucking insanity where you're like spinning down the monster's entire body, like doing this spin attack with your blades. Like it's nuts shit. It's
And
crazy shit. The
you know
mobility just
what?
became
All
insane.
you all you had in dual blades for the older games was demon mode.
Yeah,
Boom,
demon mode.
boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom. That's all you. That's all you had. And I actually like the direction it's moving in towards, because the game it's more fluid. It's not when people say anime, right? I instantly go to God Eater or those type of games, right? Where like it's
Yeah.
super anime, the movements aren't realistic, like everything's floaty, nothing has any weight to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But in this game, somehow they still managed to make like Longsword, for instance. I know a lot of people hate Longsword, and I was one of those people too. Until I started playing it in Rise, actually. I actually love Longsword because it is anime as fuck, but it has weight behind it. It still feels really good to use. It still feels really satisfying to pull off those counter moves,
Hmm.
to pull off your spirit gauge attacks and everything like that. And even with dual blades and like other weapons, they have anime moves on them and everything of that nature, but they still have weight behind them because the animations are really good. They're really weighty, and you get punished by using them at the wrong time really quickly. So
Yeah.
I actually like this direction. I think like when with Rise Sunbreak, for instance, for the Great Sword. The Great Sword is a little bit more mobile now in Sunbreak,
Yeah.
from what I saw. And I like that direction. A lot of people are like, oh, the Great Sword shouldn't be like that. What, oh my god. I'm like, bro, like, come on, man. Like,
Man, you
the
got
Great
like
Sword is not
7
fun to.
Monster Hunter games to go play that great swords like that. Like what? Like Jesus. Like if you want
And
that,
I
go
used
play
to be a
those.
Great Sword main,
Yeah.
that and
Oh really?
I was like,
That's
yeah, I
funny.
used to be a Great Sword main. And I actually love the direction Great Swords move. I actually didn't like the Great Sword in World because it had too many moves. If that makes sense, I'm like,
Yeah.
this is just too much. This is the shift move, the shoulder bash move. I'm like, oh, this is way too fucking much. Charging that wasn't a thing. What the fuck? So I actually strayed away from it, and then I went to Hammer. Like in Try, I think I went to Hammer.
Yeah.
But it's like even Hammer like has some flashy moves and everything of that nature, and I
Yeah.
actually like that. The only ones I think that suffers from the non-flashiness is like heavy bowgun lance users. Like I feel bad for
Oh,
them because they're
Lance, dude. People, yeah, there's so many sad Lance people out there. Apparently they got screwed hard
they
in
got screwed
Rise. Yeah.
hard, bro. Oh my
Yeah.
god, man. But I think they should move in more of that direction. Then add some more fucking weapons. Give me some. I would love a fist weapon or a fucking spear weapon, like a
Like a
like a pike.
Naginata or
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I would love a weapon like that. I think that would be really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Because
But
the reason I don't have any problem with that happening is because, like I said, they won't make it too anime to where it's like you're just floating everywhere, insect glaive. You're just floating everywhere. You're doing stuff, but even with the insect glaive, it still feels like you have to learn how to use it, or you're just not going to be doing any damage at all. Like you have to
well,
really target how you
Insect
do it.
Glaive got screwed because yeah, people call dual blades in Rise like Insect Glaive 2.0 because bro, like our aerial mobility is like insane. It's not I actually don't think it's as good as Insect Glaive probably, but it doesn't matter. Like I think this is my issue with Rise, and I think this is the thing I complain about most about the game. I like everything you're talking about. I like the direction of the game overall too, but The switch skills, I like them. The problem with them is they're not balanced. There seems to be like for most weapons, there seems to be one of each switch skill slot that's actually better, like objectively better, and it's really hard to argue that the other one's even remotely close in a lot of ways. And Dual Blades is like that, where
Yeah.
the old school moves, the original move set for Dual Blades kind of sucks in Rise. Like it's really
Oh
bad.
yeah.
Like the damage on it is just horrifically bad. Like the meta is the Demon Flight stuff and Archdemon mode, or the Feral Demon mode, sorry. And it's like I don't mind the playstyle that much. Like I actually have started to enjoy it more, but I just like it disappoints me because the old moveset in Dual Blades, I really liked that. I enjoyed how much mobility I had, like how fast my character moved. Like I
Like, are you
really,
talking about in World or like old Monster Hunter?
all of them, like world and
Okay.
otherwise. Like demon mode in older games always increase your character's move speed like a ridiculous amount. Like you're moving around like a fucking jackal, like
Yeah.
you like dude, you're like low to the ground, you're doing like a Naruto run basically. And it's badass. There's certain monsters in Rise I still fight with that form. It's mostly like Tigrex and some other faster, more annoying monsters. But like most of the time though, it's just objectively a worse skill than the Feral Demon
Mm.
mode and Demon Flight, and it kind of blows. I'm like they mentioned in their latest post on Twitter that there will be balance changes for your weapons as well, and I'm really hoping that they bring it closer together at least. I'm not saying like demon mode, the normal demon mode and everything needs to be the same damage level as Demon Flight. Maybe it
Yeah.
shouldn't be. But the other issue is that this game is designed around Demon Flight, like for Dual Blades. Like most of the monsters in this game are designed around the aerial mobility that most of the weapons have.
Which is
And
weird because I feel like the game is more grounded than World, if that
mhm.
makes any sense.
I do
But you
agree
are
with
right.
you. There's less verticality, right? But in
Yeah.
terms of fighting, most weapons have a way to get into the air. And that has become like because think about Narwa, dude. Like Narwa is literally built in Ibushi. They are built for
Yeah,
Demon
you're
Flight.
right.
Like straight up built for Demon Flight. Like fighting them without Demon Flight is like pure mental, like you are just like handicapping yourself if you're not using those moves, because that monster is so long and so tall. Like being able to fly along its body and damage it the entire length of its body is like insane damage, and
Yeah.
mobility that you get as well. So it's like I think having that plus the fact that it does way better damage on top of it is just it's really frustrating, because it's like I literally like can't play the other way. It's like it kind of sucks. Like it's like double the damage too. It's like an insane gap in how effective it is. So that's where I get frustrated personally with this game.
Mm-hmm.
I have been seeing a lot of chatter though on some of these Twitter posts where, dude, the community right now, there's some old school players of Monster Hunter, dude, that are fucking furious with Capcom over Rise, and they're calling it the easiest Monster Hunter they've ever made. Like they're gonna make it easier in Sunbreak. Like it's gonna be a fucking joke, like they are fucking pissed, dude. Like, and while I can see that this game is definitely I feel like it's easier than Monster Hunter's ever been. At the same time, why don't we let Sunbreak come out and really see if that's true? Because G rank is always hard. There's not like an easy version
Yeah.
of it really. Like it's definitely challenging. I still expect the challenge to be there.
So my counter to that, and I'm pretty sure the developers think the same way. I agree with a lot of people that the game is easier, but I'm gonna insult the players and then give them a credit as well. I think it's stupid to say that for veteran players, at least. I don't think it's dumb to say that. I just think they're wrong in a way that they're saying it's easier. Maybe we've just gotten better at the game. Like the game is difficult.
Yeah.
I think for a normal person, a normal player, like if you've been playing this game for 13 plus years, there's nothing you haven't seen with this game.
Right.
Unless they bring in a new monster. But even like Crimson Valtrax, right? We were like, holy shit, it's hard, and then we start fucking creaming it. Like it was easy as fuck.
Well, we
Well, we didn't do the
we didn't
advanced
do the
version yet.
event, Montrell.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah.
let's be fair, we haven't fought the version that creamed the
But
shit
it's
out
still,
of us.
but
So
like
that thing
that's
carded
there for.
through. That thing carded us. Like literally failed the quest in less than like 4 minutes. Like it was insanity. Like we got fucking
But
wrecked.
that monster's there for us to do that, right? So that's a difficult monster for us to overcome. And I feel like G rank is going to be that. I think everyone's worried about the wrong thing. I think G rank is still going to be hard because I think World's G rank was pretty hard, was pretty difficult.
Yeah.
So and to me, World is the easiest one out of all of them. Even easier than Rise, in my opinion. I think Rise still has some difficulty, more compared to World, because World you had a lot more tools at your disposal, whereas Rise took a lot of tools away from your disposal.
Yeah.
But anyway, my only concern with Sunbreak is, and which I'm getting very nervous about, is the monsters. And I know there may be more monsters to come. I know they're not gonna like blow their whole load on the trailers and everything like that, but it's just really, I'm really fucking nervous because it's like it's
Iceborne
because I say the same.
Iceborne set the tone, man. If they can't even get close to that, I'm gonna be really disappointed.
Iceborne did set the tone, but strictly speaking from Rise, I'm not even counting Iceborne. I'm not even going to put that one in this conversation.
Yeah.
Strictly speaking from Rise's like standard it's set, the game was not good coming out the gate. I don't care what no one says. Monsters, story-wise, everything was terrible to me.
Yeah.
And I don't want Sunbreak to be the same shit. Like, yeah, we have G rank monsters and we have I'm even scared we're not even going to get any variants. Like we're going to get like one or two variants of one or two monsters, and that's it. And then everything else is going to be DLC, free DLC. You know, that's what I'm scared of.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But that's the nervousness I'm getting. Now you're right. They may blow me out the water, but I'm very skeptical. I'll say right now.
Well,
I'm
dude, very
skeptical.
So I logged into Iceborne the other night. When I think it was Tuesday. I don't remember. And I did one hunt. I did a Rathian hunt. You know, just to play to see how it felt. If I actually wanted to like invest time into it, and the answer I came to was probably not. Not because of that hunt or anything the game did, but playing it again, I was like, yeah, it's starting to feel familiar. But you know, Montreal, you know what's funny about that though, dude? I was looking through it, right, Iceborne, and as much time as we put into that game, right? Like we put an asinine amount of time into that game. As much time as we put into Monster Hunter Iceborne, we actually didn't even finish like playing it.
I know.
Like, bro, I was looking through my weapon list and I was like, dude, there's so many weapons I didn't even make that like there are weapons on the list that are question marks. Like I don't even know what they are. Like I was like, holy shit. Like this is crazy. Like we played this game like a fucking madman and like we didn't even fucking finish it. There's like armor that we didn't even unlock. Like my gems are shit. Like there are monsters we never even fought. Like I'm like, dude, this game was fucking insane. I was like looking through the quest list too. I compared base world to Iceborne. Dude, they're the same exact length. Like they literally made the same number of quests for Iceborne as was in base world. And that was for low and high rank. That was all of that same number was in master rank. Like they went fucking above and beyond for Iceborne in a way that I just like it's like insane and it's like I don't think Sunbreak can meet that. I really don't, but I hope they get close, you know?
Yeah.
If they do, I will be satisfied with that. You know, I don't expect them to meet Iceborne. I think Iceborne was one of the most insane things I think we've ever seen with Monster Hunter, like with a G rank version. Like, dude, it was just fucking nuts how much content was in that game. But so I don't know. I have your same concerns, but at the same time, I feel like they've had time to be ready for this, and I feel like this is gonna be. I believe they're gonna make it right. You know, I
Okay.
think they probably know that the base release of Rise was probably not that good. As much as people are
I don't.
telling them it was, like
I was about to say that I
they
don't think they
know, bro.
do.
They dude, developers know. Okay, man. They're I know we could get concerned about this with Zelda and stuff like that, but these developers, dude, they know the state of their game, right? They're not stupid. Like they don't smell their own farts a lot of the time. Like they're very aware of what's missing, what bugs there are, issues with the game, content. Like they fucking know, dude. So I don't know. I feel fairly confident that Sunbreak's going to meet our expectations, but
Okay.
so that's kind of where I'm at with it. I'm not saying they're gonna have like 8 new Elder Dragons and like a million new monsters and all the variants we could ever want, but you know, I think they will have a good amount of monsters that we're looking for, variants of those monsters. Like I think there will be more equipment than there is in the game now by a pretty wide margin. That's a huge glaring flaw with the game. Still, there's really not that many interesting weapon trees in the game. It's very light in that regard for me. So I'm just I believe that will be better. So, but in terms of the difficulty thing, um, I think people going back to your point is these vets, man. They played the game for so long, right? They played the series for so long. Like I think these people are like really they're like psyching themselves out, dude. I think I think this is a result of the dissatisfaction of the fact that it's only high rank that we're playing, you know? Um
Yeah.
I think that's really where a lot of this consternation is coming from in multiple regards with with the content, B with the difficulty of the game and the changes to the game. The game high rank has always been easy. It's not ever really been that hard. Like high rank is people used to talk about high rank like it was some giant jump from low rank like oh man, you better be ready, boy, like going from low rank to high rank. It's like all right, bro. Like, yeah, I'm sure your first couple hunts, you got like a fucking great Jaggy like kicking the shit out of you because you're wearing shitty armor. But the second you start putting high rank shit on, like that is out the window, you know, for the most part. Um, G rank's really where it actually gets difficult in a lot of ways. But even that, you can outscale, you know, content in G rank too. Like that is still true. It just takes it's a little harder. It takes longer. But so I think that's where a lot of the difficulty complaints are coming from is just that. And I think the other thing is people are fucking hyper min max with the series now, dude. Like to a degree they probably weren't back in the day, you know? Where like we have these absolute perfect builds where we have attack boost 7, critical eye 7, weakness exploit 3, fucking every attack thing you could possibly want, you know, in these fucking builds. And it's like, yeah, I mean, of course you're killing a monster in 3 minutes, you know, and it's like not easy at all. We're doing so much damage, the monster's staggering every like 2 seconds. Like it's yeah, the game's gonna be fucking easy that way. If the monster has enough health where that you're not staggering them often enough, the fight's going to be harder. Like that's just the nature of the game, right? Like when we fought
Yeah.
Crimson Valstrax, the event one, dude, we weren't staggering that thing at all. Like we were getting our asses kicked. It's like and that's why the fight's hard because it keeps attacking. There's no windows to like pile damage on it because it's not taking enough damage from us, you know? So that's like a huge element to the game. As you get more effective as a hunter, like your hunter's stats get higher and your build gets better, it becomes exponentially easier to hunt things because you are getting bigger and windows more often where you can do lots of damage. That's just the nature of Monster Hunter. It's always been that way. It's true in G rank too. It's just the numbers are much higher, so it's harder to abuse that as much as we're abusing it now, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't know, man. I just hope the next Monster Hunter. I will wait 3 or 4 years if it releases with G rank. Like that's how
Yeah,
I hope the next Monster Hunter does
I
it.
agree.
Even though they probably not. I personally am gonna have to hold my horses to buy the next Monster Hunter because I just want G rank. I can only imagine and this is why I stopped playing early game
Yeah.
or earlier in the game's life cycle because I can only imagine me playing this game and then just stopping. Like, cause I'm only been playing the game for a month and I'm already at in game levels. Like
And this is with
my grind is
months of DLC and shit added, like extra content.
exactly
Yeah. Right.
and we're already there within what we started playing like maybe 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks
Not
ago.
even, yeah,
Like we haven't been
literally, dude. Like it was like 2 weeks ago, man. Like it really wasn't that long. I blasted through the game in about 2 days of playing. Like I'd say
yeah.
about
So
two like 8 hour sessions. That's how short this game is.
yeah, and that's compared to where we came from. Even and you're like, okay, and people can say, well, that's a console game, y'all, and the game has more space on consoles. All right, cool. GU, bro, we weren't even done with that game. There were still variants and deviants we had to fight
Yeah,
10 or 15 times to get the max build that we wanted to get and everything
yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah.
Um, like we weren't done with that game, and we made a conscious decision to stop playing the game.
No, we beat the
But
final monster in G rank, and then
yeah,
we were in farming mode, and that's pretty much when we stopped playing. You know,
yeah, exactly.
um,
Um, and I don't even remember why we stopped playing World, but like,
I think we
uh,
just got burnt out, dude. Like
yeah,
we were in farming mode in World too, and I think the problem with World, I think the reason we burnt out was that at the time we had to unlock most of the monsters we needed to farm. We needed to do it through the guiding lands. Like there were
there you
no
go. That's what it
actual
was.
quests to go fight Silver Rathalos or like Gold Rathian. Like there are now. There are event quests. You can just go do them. You don't even need to go to the guiding lands to unlock these. But that was the issue. We were farming specific monsters and we had to level the guiding lands up so those monsters would start to appear, which would then allow us to get investigations, which we would be able to go do together, and farm what we needed to farm. And then we would have to unlevel the guiding lands and level a different portion of it in order to get a different monster to then farm that one. It was a very tedious process, and I think both of us were just like kind of like, fuck this, we're done. You know, if we played it again now, it'd be way quicker. There's pages and pages and pages of event quests. It's fucking insanity. Like it's totally bonkers. Um, so yeah, I think that's the other problem with Monster Hunter. I think is it's become a bit of a live service. Like that's the intent, and that is the only thing I'm concerned about with Sunbreak is that it comes out and it's not the end game is really grindy in a way that isn't fun. The way Iceborne kind of was, So it's probably my
Yep.
biggest concern. But
What about you, man? What you been playing?
okay, yeah. Dude, God, we've been talking for 45 minutes about what we've been playing. I'm
We
playing.
said we were gonna stretch it.
I mean, shit, dude. At this point, we're looking at 2 hours probably, man. This is fucking insanity. We have like two news stories. Um, so Stranger of Paradise. I've been playing more. I played more of this, and this game has quickly become a strict co-op game for me. I think with my brother, both of us are like kind of into it, but we're like both like, I want to play with you, but if you want to wait a few days, like that's okay. I'll play something else. Like we're not like really that into this game. It's unfortunate. I love Team Ninja. And I just this game is just unfortunately like not that good. I can't get into it, dude. Like the story is funny, Jack is funny, and things are funny, but the game's not supposed to be funny, so it's like me laughing at the game, and it's like not I'm not getting the joy out of it I was hoping in that regard.
Mhm.
And I just think the gameplay is really the only thing that is keeping me going with it, and the fact that I'm playing co-op. Because most of the rest of the game is just really undercooked to me. Like the the item system in this game, like think about Montrell. You remember in Neo 2, right? You played through that game a fuck ton, right? You played that game a lot. Remember how there were
Yeah.
like there's like fucking items in that game you can use, like bombs and all sorts of kunai and shit, and like different types of potions and healing items and shit like that. Like as far as I've seen so far in Stranger of Paradise, there is none of that. Like you literally have potions which serve as your flasks, like your Estus flask equivalent basically, and there's no other items that I've seen besides equipment that drops. Like there are no high potions, there's no X potions, there's no types of like bomb weapons or anything like that you can use. I don't. You can correct me. Does that change later in the game that you know of?
No.
Okay,
That's
so that's a huge element of Neo and Neo 2, and frankly, the Dark Souls games and Elden Ring that is missing from this game. Like, and that it's making the game a little bit more one dimensional for me. And so I'm not enjoying that. Then there's also the gear. I found the gear rather pointless so far. And you've told me this, and I've heard this from others, is like as you're playing through it on normal difficulty, like don't even look at the gear. Just put on the highest level shit. Whatever the game recommends is the highest level item. Just put it on. Like, and that's what I've been doing, and I'm having no trouble with the game at all.
Hmm.
And as a result, I'm like, I don't even really care about my character's setup for the most part. So that's not fun. The job trees, I am also finding I kind of don't like them. Like there's no depth to them. They're very small. Their passives that you get on them do not carry over to other jobs. So they're only used in that one job. The only thing that carries over are the abilities you get for weapons that you can use at the end of certain combos. Those
Yeah.
carry over between jobs, and that is it. So the job trees for me are literally there just to facilitate getting other jobs. And now that I know that, I'm not going to play half the jobs in the game because there's no point, like unless I actually enjoy them for their gameplay. So, yeah, it's just like overall this game just like it just feels undercooked. Like I'm like disappointed with the story because it's like it, I actually think the story they're telling could be really fucking good if they actually like put effort into it and made like an actual good story, you know. Um,
The crazy thing is, I think they actually tried.
I know they did. That's what's so upsetting about it. I'm like, man, uh, like that's my problem. Is like I don't want to be super hard on this game. I love Team Ninja. It's just this isn't up to Neo's standards. You know, Neo 1 or 2, to be frank. Like not even close to Neo 2. Neo 2 is fucking incredible. Like, and but to be like, I know you don't like Neo 1 as much, and a lot of people don't like Neo 1 as much, like relative to 2 especially. But Neo 1, like before Neo 2 came out, Neo 1 is where I think most people think Neo 2 is. Like that is how good that game was when it came out. So Neo 2 just like expanded on it to a degree where it's like a fucking absurd. It turned into like a Monster Hunter game in terms of how much fucking shit was in it, you know?
Hmm.
Um, but so that I don't know. It's just like disappointing to see this as like a step down. I'm really hoping they're working on something else as well. Because yeah, if this is all we're getting from them in the next 2 or 3 years, like I'm like, man, that kind of blows. Because yeah, they're planning all this DLC for this game too, and I'm like, man, just drop this, dude. This like these levels are fucking lifeless too. Like there's just like no like the design of the levels for the most part is pretty bad. Like they're not interesting to walk around, you know, for the most part. I will say the third level actually was a lot better than the first two levels for me. But you know, it's still not great. I wouldn't compare it. Like Neo 2's level design is fucking amazing, you know, in comparison, at least for me. Because that's the other thing I'm thinking about too. There's no hidden shit in this game. There's no reason to explore any of these levels. You know, in like Neo 2, there were like the hot springs. You could find all the Kodamas, the hidden fucking yokai door walls monsters or whatever. All that stuff. Like there's so much shit to find within a level, you know. Whereas in this game, it's literally just like you run through it and you go to the boss and then you go to the next level. Like that's it. That's the game. So it's like super basic, you know. Um,
Yeah, it is super basic in that regard. Um, I personally thought maybe it will pick up in like
the
in the
higher difficulty.
chaos mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chaos mode. But I don't know if it adds monsters or stuff like that. Maybe I don't fucking know. I just
Yeah.
maybe I need to play it.
Well, dude, because that's the
Uh,
thing about Neo, right? Neo 2, the higher difficulties in Neo 2, there's like different monsters in the levels. Like they change the monsters around and shit. And then monsters get like new moves. There's like new versions of certain monsters and stuff too. Like there was so much effort put into that game. Like I'm just not seeing it here, you know? Um
yeah, this one seems like a side project.
yeah. Yeah.
To be honest with you,
Right.
and it seems like they made it to pay the bills.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like I can still tell the team Ninja put their love into the game. Me personally, I feel like they're restricted in what they can do.
Yes,
That's me
I
personally.
agree. I'm sure Square Enix had very very strict guidelines of what they could do and what they couldn't do. You know, like the
Yeah,
difficulty thing, like that's definitely Square putting that in, you
because
know.
Because I can definitely tell with some of the finish moves and everything that Jack does, they really wanted to go like gritty with this game, but then they compromise with like the crystallization of like him
Dude,
breaking stuff in
I
half.
guarantee you, like, yeah, you're totally right? Like the crystallization thing is so obvious they added that to every finisher, like later in development, probably. And because I'm sure it was bloody as all fuck, and like
Yeah.
really graphic. And Square was like, we can't, this is Final Fantasy, dude. We can't do this, like so because dude, when you're playing the game, like Jack gets really bloody, but he's not like there's no blood coming out of anything really. It's all getting
Exactly.
crystallized. So yeah, it feels like they definitely made some changes like around that for sure. And I think I'm surprised Square let them do some things with Jack that they did. Like he swears a lot. Like he's very he like
Yeah, he
like
said
curses and
he said
shit. Like
fuck, and I was
yeah,
like,
I know.
bro,
In
what
the
the fuck?
game, I'm like, this is a Final Fantasy game. Like, huh? So I'm surprised about some of that, but so I do think Square definitely had a heavy influence on what they were allowed to do, and unfortunately, that when that happens, I get it, it's Square's baby, but I kind of feel like they should have let Team Ninja do what they wanted. This is a great team; they have great pedigree and they can make great games, but yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. I'm gonna beat it. We're like dedicated to beating it, but that's probably all I'm going to do. So sorry, man. I know you wanted to play co-op with me, but I mean, maybe when we beat it, if you're down, I might be down to do it. But
I mean, I'll still be done. Just let me know because I'm just waiting
okay.
at chaos. But if y'all decide to do it, y'all know. And
I
if
mean, we're
not,
so
then I'll
up
just
Monster Hunter's asshole right now, and we will be for probably at least a month when Sunbreak comes out. That's probably our co-op game for the
yeah.
foreseeable future. But yeah, I'll let you know for sure if I want to do that. Outside of the Stranger Paradise, so now that Stranger Paradise is my co-op game, I didn't have anything that I was playing alone to really play to focus on, so I decided to boot up 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, which is Vanillaware's latest game from about a year and a half ago, actually. And it's funny. I booted this game up when it first came out for about 7 minutes and instantly put it down. I just wasn't grabbed at the time for whatever reason. I just was in the wrong. I think I was in the wrong headspace for what this game is. But right now, it's actually perfect, dude. This is a very story heavy game that is big on dialogue and cutscenes. And there's very little like gameplay in this game, so it's basically a visual novel that has a very light tactical battle mode in it. And I'm cool with that. I don't need that much more than that because I love Vanillaware and I love their games and I love the stories that they weave in their games. And that's kind of what I'm there for. I mean, if the gameplay is good, that's a great bonus. Like Odin Sphere is like I fucking love that game because the gameplay is really good in that game, and the story is really good too. But yeah, this game, dude, this game is fucking batshit insane, and I'm I'm fucking loving it, dude. Like, so I'm only 5 hours in, and there are 13 characters that you play as, and they all have various parts in the story, right? And you go through the game from their perspective when you're playing as one of them, and there will be different events that the game takes you through, and like right now I'm only have 8 available. I think 8 characters available to me. There's 5 I haven't even unlocked yet, and everything that's happened to those 8 so far is just it's fucking just so insane, dude. There's like I don't feel like this is spoiling the game too much because like this shit happens within the first hour for the most part. But dude, this story has time travel, it has aliens, it has giant kaiju monsters, it has giant mech monsters. Like there's like a fucking there's an element of this game that's like an anime high school story. Like it's centered around this high school, like most of the events that happen. Like it's fucking insanity. Like there's crazy shit going on in this game, and it's like funny to a degree, but it's also really compelling at the same time. Like I don't understand how they weave these stories like this because they kind of did this with Odin Sphere too. It was a little bit more straightforward in that game, where you had like 5 different characters and you kind of played through their story, and that was that. This game, you're jumping around a lot, where you'll play one character and then you'll get locked out and you can't do their next arc section until you do some other things in the game.
Yeah.
So you're jumping between characters constantly. Like their little stories will last you maybe about 30 minutes each time you do one of these. But it's and the story is told out of order. It's one of those stories where it's like the game, there's a timeline of events, but you're shown things kind of like in the middle or towards the end early on, and you have to kind of piece where things happen within the overall timeline as you're playing it. And that is kind of part of what the story is you're trying to do with the story in this game. And I'm finding it really compelling so far, though. I really like all the characters. There, like I said, there's time travel. There's certain characters where there's like 4 different versions of the same character in the in the fucking game, and like trying to figure out who they are and which one they are. That's part of the fun, somewhat as well. And like piecing in, once you find that out too, you're like, wait a second, that character was over here at this point, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm finding this game really enjoyable. I'm really digging it. I am probably going to focus on it pretty heavily because the story is so complicated. This isn't a game I'm going to be able to put down for any real length of time and come back to and remember what the fuck was going on. You know, like I'm going on vacation next week and I'm going to be gone for like 3 or 4 days. And I'm like, fuck, man, like I'm going to have to come back and like go through like the event log and like watch some of the cutscenes again to like really remember some of the big beats. Because yeah, it's like that complicated, but you know, it's good though. It's great. The game is super
Yeah.
fun. The tactical mode is pretty basic. It's cool that it's there, and it does add some story elements. But you know, I'm not over the moon about that part of the game.
You know
It's
what?
whatever.
I think
But
I got this game confused with something else. Is this a side scroller?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, never mind. Okay, it's the same. This is the same game I've been seeing. It's like a side scroller action beat 'em up, right?
No,
Almost, kinda.
no, it's
No,
not. It's
okay.
not a beat 'em up at all. No, no. Odin Sphere was a side scroller action beat 'em
That's
up.
the one I'm getting. I'm
Yeah,
getting.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
getting mixed up with.
Yeah, which is
Yeah. Is
Vanilla
this the
Ware.
same
One of their
team?
other games. Yeah, yeah. That's
Okay.
one of their
Okay.
older
There you
games.
go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They made that game in the PS2 era, and then they remade it in 2015 or 2016. It's
I actually have to buy that game. I actually
no,
have that game.
that game is
Actually, I
fucking
need to play
amazing
it.
too, dude. Like, oh my god, I fucking love Odin Sphere. But yeah, this game is like right up there for me so far. And I'm really enjoying it. So,
Yeah, because the art style looks very. Yeah. Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
no, they have
Yeah.
oh my god, they have a fucking beautiful art style, man. Their games are gorgeous to me. Like I adore that what they do with their aesthetic in these games. So
And these is one of those games too where like not everything needs to go 3D. Like you can make 2D and 3D mash to
yeah.
where it's just beautiful, and they use it in a beautiful way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder. Keep
Oh no,
going.
you're good. No, I was pretty much done. You're gonna hear more about this game probably when I come back in 2 weeks. So I'm actually hoping to have it beaten by then. So
All right, well, let's finally get on to the stories. Sorry,
all right,
guys.
all right. Yeah, after an hour of talking about games we're playing, you know, hey, look, sometimes we just, you know, it's like you gotta say what you gotta say, man. You know, it's part of our show. So all right, so today there was a
Dude,
state of play. Sorry, go ahead.
yes, I was gonna say, well, too, we've been doing really short episodes these last couple of weeks.
True.
So
Yeah, you know, we gotta give the people some content, bro. You know.
yeah, man.
So, all right. So we had a state of play today. It actually broadcast like literally 2 or 3 hours ago. And overall, this one was decent.
I said the same thing, right? I was very impressed.
I was like, dude, for what they've been doing with state of play, because we've been joking about it, that they set this cadence that state of play is shitty and like the showcases are where it's at. This one was probably one of the better, might be the best state of play they've ever done. To be honest, besides like those singular focus ones where they show like one game and that's it, you know.
Yeah, I really don't count those.
Me either. They're different.
I think this is the best one. Like this is like almost like a mini PlayStation showcase.
Yeah,
and this is what they need to do going forward. They need to stack their deck up and then just hit.
Yeah, I think the thing is, the funny part about this is bro, like as decent as this was mostly third party. They told us fucking nothing about what they're working on. Like, we have no idea. They probably have a whole PlayStation showcase just like sitting there, ready to drop in like 2 or 3 months. Like
Mm-hmm.
fucking, we know so little about what their teams are doing. There's rumors of this fucking Last of Us remake is coming out in the next year, like with the factions multiplayer that Naughty Dog's working on. We have no idea. Sucker Punch has got, Ghost of Tsushima 2, which at this point, we're actually 2 or 3 years out from that. It's like from the first game. That might not be that far away. Obviously, Spider-Man 2 is coming out, like supposedly coming out next year, but we've seen nothing of it, like gameplay wise. That Wolverine game they showed. But it's like that's not even scratching the surface though, dude. Like, because we know Santa Monica's working on another game. We've got it's just they got a lot going on. Ben's got another game in the works too. That there's that Uncharted game supposedly that somebody's working on as well that we've not even seen, that hasn't even been confirmed yet. So there's a lot going on at PlayStation that we don't know about, and that's exciting because to get something that's actually decent out of a state of play, knowing that is like, damn, dude. Like, okay, so we got some good stuff coming up, but let's focus on this state of play. So we're gonna go through an order. The first thing they showed, and finally, this was very Capcom heavy, by the way. This state of play. They started off with Resident Evil 4 remake. We got our first look at that. It was pretty much all cinematic. I don't think there was any gameplay in this trailer.
No, they show some gameplay, but it was mainly just Leon walking in the village. But that was the
Yeah, it wasn't
gameplay.
actually like him fighting or anything like that. Yeah, it was just some
Yeah.
like short walking animations. But I mean, Montreal, are you excited about this? What did you think of it?
Um. Yes and no, and this is just me being, nostalgic for the old Leon. I like the old Leon better. I think he looks better. His persona's better than the newer Leon. The newer Leon is more of a realistic approach on how someone would deal with Resident Evil, and
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
yeah,
Um, but for me, like I grew up with the corniness of Resident Evil, right? We
yeah.
all know how the lines were corny and everything, and they kind of accepted that and played into it. Even though Resident Evil 4 was a really good game, it was still cheesy at times, and I
I mean,
appreciate
dude,
that cheesiness.
that's the thing I took away is my knowledge of Resident Evil 4. I've never played it, but everybody I've heard talk about it talks about that cheesiness is a big part of why they enjoy the game. You know,
Yeah, it's
and
because he has a certain charm that he brought over from the other games
yeah,
into this game, and that in this game really defined who Leon was. Um,
yeah. So isn't
so
it
in
risky
the,
for them to not do that?
I think they're gonna do it. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know. We don't know how they're gonna make this Leon. This Leon is way more mature. Like in Resident Evil 2, he was the rookie, so it was kind of like expected for him to be like all shaky and scary. But from a few voice lines I heard from the trailer, it looks like they're going the more serious route. He's going to be more post-traumatic stress disorder Leon instead of like cheesy Leon like we like it.
hmm
Um, and it's also scenes in there in Resident Evil 4 that are just way over the top. Like there's a knife fight between him and Krauser, one of his old squad mates, and they're fighting with knives like it's like a fucking sword or whatever. And it's just like the most cheesiest shit ever. He blocks a bullet with the knife and everything.
Oh
Like
my
it's
god, that's
cheesy as
awesome.
fuck, right?
Wait, hold on,
Uh,
dude. You just reminded me. Was it Resident Evil 5 or 6 where there was this fight between two characters and they were running in circles around each other and shooting each other's feet? Or
oh no,
shooting...
that was the movie. That was the movie. That
Oh
was one of
my
the movies.
god, dude. It's so fucking funny, dude. Oh,
Yeah, you know what? That corniness kind of started with Resident Evil 4 because they do shit like that in here.
yeah.
Like you fight people with like rocket launchers and shit, and it's just crazy. Like the game's crazy, but it also makes sense in a way. I don't know how they did it, but they did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
like there's one part where you're like fighting a giant ass monster that has like a machine gun on its back. And then like there's one part where you're storming, like the game goes from spooky to like action to spooky again. Cause you in Resident Evil 4, you storm like a fucking a island or whatever, and it's like D-Day, and you're like there's a dude with a giant a giant fucking chain gun
Yeah.
shooting down at you and shit like that. Then once you storm that part, then you're inside like this little refrigerator where you gotta meet these things called the regenerators, and they're fucking creepy as fuck. The game turns creepy again. So it's like I don't know what they're going to remake as far as that. Like,
Yeah.
if you take a lot of that out, then a lot of the fans are going to be pissed. But you have to weave it in to make it all more realistic. If that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're gonna go with it. I'm
Yeah.
nervous because I just don't know, and I don't want to be like labeled as like the old, like a like how they call them Pokemon people, Gen runners or whatever. I don't want to be that person who's like, back in my day,
You're a
Resident Evil 4,
boomer, Montrell. You're a
yeah.
fucking boomer, man.
I don't want to be a boomer to this, so
Yeah.
I'm going into it with open eyes. But I wasn't impressed by the trailer. It was okay. It was like okay, like I actually don't like this Leon. Like personally, I personally don't like the way he looks. I
Yeah.
don't like anything about him so far.
Yeah, it really seems like they're trying to go a more serious route with Resident Evil. Like they want it to be like a serious drama almost,
Yeah, and that's
dramatic horror
cool.
game.
Yeah, and that's cool. I mean, I don't mind it. I think the game was still creepy even with the cheesiness. It kind of made the game easier to play. Um, But I just like scary games now, so I can play it even without the hardest game for me to play. Honestly, still to this day is Dead Space. That game is really hard for me to play.
Yeah, that one. We're actually going to talk about that not specifically that, but something related to that later. So,
Yep.
yeah, that game I've never played Dead Space. I've seen it, I've watched it. I actually think that's like the one horror game I actually really want to play, and I'm kind of intrigued by the remake. I'm kind of a bitch with horror stuff. I don't really like horror stuff very much. But dude, Dead Space is so fucking intriguing to me. In like the concept of it that you are literally a fucking like a miner, like isn't Isaac like a miner or some shit, and he's literally alone in a fucking
Yeah, he's
giant
not like
spaceship, and
a
he's using
action hero at all. Like
no
he's a
bro
minor,
yeah, he's using like
and
a
they
fucking bolt cutter like weapon, to fight these
and
enemies and
the team. I remember when the game came out, the team specifically said they did that for a reason. They're like, you're not some action hero, you're not a cop, you're not a fucking soldier, you're just a regular fucking miner, and you're using mining gear to fight these monsters and stuff like that. And it was like very groundbreaking at the time because that wasn't really done except for like in clock tower games and stuff like that from Capcom. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
really cool.
Yep. So we'll see what they do with this game, but right now I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I really think this game there's a risk that people aren't going to like it, you know, if they change too much.
I think this game's going to divide the community up. This
I
one's
think
really
so.
going to divide the
I
community.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree cuz yeah, 2 was like unanimously praised.
Praise. Yep.
People were really into 2. 3 obviously 3 itself, the original 3 isn't really that well loved anyways, so 3 and it's really short.
Yeah.
So people weren't super into 3, but this one is the big one. 4 is like the most iconic Resident Evil game, by far. And
Yeah.
part of that is the cheesiness and the mixture of that with the horror elements. And I think if they steer away from the cheesiness too much, I think there's a lot of people they're going to be boomers about it, like they're not going to be into it, man. So it's going to be interesting to watch. But they said it's coming 2023, I believe.
Yep.
So not too far out. So the next thing they show were 3 PSVR 2 games. Resident Evil Village is coming to PSVR. There's a Walking Dead game, Saints and Sinners, Retribution coming. And then the last one, this was actually like a reveal, like a new game reveal. Horizon Call of the Mountain, which has been rumored. I think they had actually announced it, but this is the first time we're seeing it. And it's a
Mhm.
Horizon game where you're not playing as Aloy, you're playing as somebody else. And it's in first person. It's a VR game. But Montreal, how did this look to you?
Um, it's a VR game.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah,
that seemed pretty clear from the trailer, dude. It's this isn't what I'm looking for out of a AAA VR experience. Like it was very like, dude, like there's like a Thunderjaw at some point in the trailer, and the thing's just like standing there and just shoots at you in a straight line. It's like, okay, like come on, dude. It's like not that immersive to me. Like it's so obvious that it's a VR. Also, your character doesn't have, arms. It's literally just two disembodied hands, doing shit, which I find that really unimmersive as well. So I'm not super into it. Also, I don't care about PSVR that much, so I don't think you do either.
Not really, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people are gonna hate us for that, but like, I'm just not really into it.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, it looks like it's an on rails
Mm-hmm.
VR game.
Yeah.
I mean, not unless they were just moving really smoothly. It looks like it's almost on rails.
Right.
But
Right. Yeah.
yeah, I'm not. The gameplay I saw, it looks pretty cool. Like it's cool for like when I have friends over, like, hey, you want to play my VR, bro? Like,
Yeah.
and like put this in, but that's about it.
You want to play my VR, bro? Yeah, funny, man. I get a VR, PSVR too. Oh shit, man! You're like selling drugs to him. All right. Next game they showed out of VR land was Spider-Man Remastered is coming to PC. This is actually pretty cool.
That was
I'm
very surprising to me. I didn't
I
think they were going to do
yeah,
that.
dude, this was the game. I said this a long time ago. This was the last game I thought they would ever port to PC. So it's funny to be wrong about that. It's clearly they've got a really good relationship with Marvel, I think, and Disney. Um, so that's cool
That
though.
yeah,
I think that's going to be a really big game on PC. Honestly,
yeah. I can't wait for the PC fanboys or not fanboys, but the PC mod community to get a hold of the game and do what they do with
oh
it.
my
It's going to be
god,
cool.
dude.
It's going to be
Yeah,
cool to see some of the mods they come out with, like maybe a Venom mod or something like that. So,
Venom mod. There
uh,
would probably be people who make like web swinging races and shit like that. You know,
yeah.
that'll be
So,
very interesting.
but yeah, I think when I saw that, I was actually excited. I'm like, wow, it's coming to PC.
That's the
Like
one
that's
thing Montrell texted me about in the entire state of play. So clearly, yeah, clearly he was excited about that.
yeah. I mean, I already have the game and everything, but it's just like that's fucking cool. Like that's really fucking cool. So I don't know, man. Like I didn't like you said. I didn't think they were gonna bring it to PC at all because they said they're like, oh, we're gonna bring a popular game over to PC, and I'm like, what else could they bring? Ratchet and Clank, and then
Ghost of
they bought fucking
Tsushima,
Ghost of
Last
Tsushima.
of Us 2, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. That would have been a cool game to bring to PC. Last of Us 2. So
I think they're really they're being very cagey with Last of Us. I think because of how Last of Us 2 was received. So I think they're gonna wait on that one a little bit more. But
all right.
I think this will be big. I think this will probably be their biggest game on PC up to this point. So the next game they showed was Stray. This is the game where you play a cat, and dude, this cat's adorable, man. I'm
Yeah,
kind of into this.
we're
Game.
biased here. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
biased. So I'm definitely getting the fucking game.
You
I
think
was like,
you
yeah,
get it?
I'm getting it. First day, I was like, oh, I'm buying this game. This is
Well,
not even a debate.
They said it's gonna be part of the PlayStation Plus subscription as well. So if you're getting that,
Oh, okay.
you will get this for free. But yeah, the game. I mean, it looks like a. It kind of just looks like a linear, sort of linear adventure game of some sort. But
Yeah.
I mean, I dig it, man. The kitty looks so cute. I'm just a sucker for cats, you know. So I don't know. You into this?
Yeah, it looks like a adventure stealth game type deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely gonna get it. The story looks interesting. The world looks interesting. I don't know if it's is it an indie game?
It
Looks
is,
like it's an indie. Yeah,
It's
so
an
I'm
indie.
definitely gonna support it. It looks like it's different from what else is out there and everything of that nature.
Well,
So.
I love when the cat like meowed too during the trailer. I was like, man, he's trying to talk to these robots, you know, like poor kitty. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of a cool idea. I mean, I'm sure there have been games where you've controlled a cat at some point in a game, but the idea of playing an entire game where you are a cat, you know, I think that's actually kind of an interesting concept. So
Well, it's actually funny too. I wonder where this game is going with it because there was an old program that the CIA tried in the '60s or the '40s. I think it was the '60s because the CIA didn't appear until after World War II. So the CIA tried to train cats and put bugs on them, and try to train them to go to certain places, but cats are cats. And they're like, I'm not going right there. What are you talking about, bro? So that
Or
program
they
failed.
saw something, they saw like a bug or something, and like completely lost their train of thought. Like,
Exactly, yeah. But
yeah.
they tried to train the cats to like, be spies and stuff because you see cats everywhere, or you used to see stray cats everywhere. I don't see them too much anymore, but I used to see stray cats everywhere when I was younger.
Hmm.
And the CIA was like trying to get them to like, go to Russia and like, release cats in Russia and plant, stuff like that,
That
but
must have
it
been
didn't work out.
fucking hilarious, dude. Like they're like listening on these bugs, right? And this cat is just like nowhere near where they're supposed to be, and they're just hearing random shit going on. Like the cat's like meowing at somebody, like meow, meow. That's all they're hearing. And somebody walks up, he's like, "Oh, cute kitty, oh, this fucking
So it's safe
hilarious."
to say that program was a bust,
That's
but they did
super
try
funny to
it.
think about, dude.
And I'm wondering that I wanted to do a developer diary on this, and I'm wondering if that was their inspiration because that's if that is, that's super hilarious.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so that looked cool. All right, next game they showed, this is the one related to Dead Space, is the Callisto Protocol. So this game is made by, I believe, some former Dead Space developers.
Correct.
And this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is the PUBG game, the game in the PUBG universe. Is that right?
So I've been talking to people on Twitter and I've been looking up. They kind of went back on that, but it's not. We don't know for sure, like if it's in the PUBG universe or not. We don't know.
Okay. But regardless, this game looks like very much a spiritual successor to Dead Space in almost every way imaginable. Even
Yep.
when they were showing gameplay and the movement and some of the weapons and stuff, I'm like, man, they're going like the weapon isn't a bolt cutter, but it kind of like has the same like targeting and stuff like that. That's what it looked like. So it's very much inspired by Dead Space. What did you think of this one?
I thought it was Dead Space. I'm like, oh, this is the remake, but they're actually like remaking the story or from a different perspective.
Yeah.
That's what I thought they were doing. But no, this game looks fucking phenomenal. I can't wait to get my hands on it and play it.
Well, I love how at the end of the trailer they show like a montage of all the death animations.
Yeah, exactly.
There was one where the guy literally gets his face bitten off, and I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, oh my God. Like, what a horrible way to fucking die, dude. You're like staring this horrific monster in the face, and it literally just envelops your face and rips it off. Like, Jesus, dude. Like, yeah. So,
It's funny. Like that's funny that happened. That trailer came out because I was actually talking about scary movies and how I hate gory, scary movies. And they're like, but you can play gory, scary games or gory games. I'm like, yeah, I actually like playing those games, but for some reason, I just can't do movies. Like I can't do movies at all. So
yeah. Yeah.
um,
I
I don't know what it
I can't
is.
do either. So,
Okay.
I just, dude, it's weird. I like reading the plot of a scary movie more than I like watching a scary movie. You know, like there's this one movie. There's this one like pretty cult classic horror movie called The Descent. Do you know that one?
Yeah, I've watched that movie, unfortunately.
Well, like, dude, people love it. Like, it's one of the more beloved horror movies out there. And like, the thing is, my wife's like, I remember, like, my wife is like really into that movie, and she watches it every so often. And I remember asking her like, what happens in this movie? She tells me the whole plot. I know the whole plot of the fucking movie, you know. But I've never seen like a second of it, you know, like straight up, like I've never watched it at all. And I'm like, the movie sounds really fucking cool, actually. Like, it's a really good premise. And I think the plot of it is like really interesting. But dude, I can't. I
A
don't know
lot
why.
of
I just
scary
don't like
movies
watching
do have.
horror.
Yeah, a lot of horror movies have really good plot points.
Yeah.
But it's just like you said, it's something about watching them. Unfortunately, either I've dated or a couple of my friends or something like that are like horror movie buffs, and I can't fucking stand it. Every girl I meet is a horror movie buff. They want to watch horror movies or gory movies. I'm just like, why do women love this shit? I don't
true,
know.
dude. You're not wrong, bro. My wife loves horror, and I'm so like, I don't want anything to do with it for the most part, you know? Like,
Yeah, so I don't
like
know, man.
I don't know, dude. We're little bitches, dude. Like,
Maybe I can't do it, man. I
no, the
can't.
thing is, when I watch a horror movie, when I actually watch it, dude, I am like so in my head, you know? afterwards. That whole
Exactly.
night, dude, I'm like sitting there. You know the one Lights Out or whatever, the one where the
Yeah.
monster's only visible when the lights are out.
Yeah.
And that one, dude, that one, like for like literally an entire weekend, we went and watched it, and I'm just like, dude, I'm like looking around corners and shit. I'm like, what is wrong with me? I know it's not gonna fucking happen, dude. It's just like, but I can't help
This
myself. Like,
exactly. Like for me, unfortunately, I watched Freddy Krueger when I was young, and I couldn't sleep for like 2 days, bro. Like I had to, my body literally just shut down one day, and I went to
yeah,
sleep. And I was like,
yeah,
oh, okay, I'm not dead.
yeah.
So,
I just had to
um,
accept the fact that I'm a bitch, like I just is what it is. I don't know. So that's why the games don't appeal to me either. Like, dude, even like The Last of Us, like the horror that happens in that series, like sometimes it's like, man, there are sections of that game where I'm like, fuck, dude, I hate this, like it's just fucking horrible. Like, dude, that happened to me with the first game. The Last of Us is great, right? I played that game up to a certain point, and the horror, like it was such a long, extended horror section that I put the game down and I didn't pick it back up for like 6
oh
months.
my
Like
god, are
straight
you
up, dude.
serious?
Yeah, man. Like straight up, dude. Like it's so fucking, it's
So,
stupid, but
so I can play horror games because I can control the outcome. Like when I'm watching a movie, I
that's
can't
why I
control the
hate
outcome.
them. That's why I hate horror games though, because yeah, sure you can control the outcome, but what happens when you don't control it? You fucking die. Like dude, you know that like feeling you have when you're running in a game and you're like, the monsters, like a monster's chasing you. Like I fucking hate that. I like get
I
out of my
love it.
chair and I'm like, "Ah!" like like I feel like I'm actually the one being chased. Like it's, I don't know.
I love that shit. That shit, it's so exhilarating when you're playing the game. I don't know.
Yeah.
For a movie, it just feels like I'm just waiting for the next scene or whatever. But for the video game, I'm like actually that character for once. I'm like, it's just, I don't know. It's just really exhilarating.
Yeah. You know what's funny about that though? Last of Us 2, I didn't have that problem at all with that game. Even though
It
there
was more
are, yeah,
action based than action. Last of Us
it,
2.
it
I don't feel like they
seems
really
like
had
they,
too many
they they
horror
downplayed
sections.
the horror a good amount. But
Yeah,
I will say there were sections of that game though, like the skyscraper descent. Like
yeah.
that's a pretty
That's
extended horror section, and I didn't have any issues with it though. Really, I actually, that's like one of my favorite levels in the fucking game. But
yeah.
so yeah, I don't know. I'm a bitch, but Callisto Protocol does look cool. I think they might actually have something here. So, all right, next game. We had some indie stuff they showed. Something called Roller Drome, which
It looks so fucking cool.
really,
It looks
oh
so
my god,
it looks so dumb that it was so fucking cool. Like, yo,
yeah.
this is the dumbest shit that
Hmm.
we have never had. Why hasn't anyone done this before? And I love it. I'm buying the shit as soon as it comes out.
All
That
right,
shit
man.
looks
I don't
really
even know
dope.
what it is. Is it like a multiplayer game or is it just like a
I don't know. I hope it's not multiplayer. I hope it's just like single player, or you like waves. You go against waves or some shit like that.
waves of enemies or whatever? Yeah,
Yeah,
it looks really silly. After that, they showed something called Eternites, which is like this anime action looking game.
it's an anime action date sim.
Action date sim. That is exactly what
That
they
that's
said.
that's exactly what they said. It's an action game merging with
Uh,
date sims.
yeah.
And I actually, this is the point. See, this is how I know I hate anime now. When I saw the anime person pop up, I'm like, oh fuck, here we go, anime shit. I got
Yeah.
so irritated, man.
Yeah.
But the game looks okay. I'm not
Mhm.
really into the date sim part because I saw you know how you can tell the animation, like how the animation, the style of a date sim. I'm like, oh, this is that type
Yeah.
of game.
Yeah. Yeah. You can just tell. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
All right. The next game. This one you might have more to say about this one. So they showed Street Fighter 6, and we actually saw gameplay and a lot of it actually.
mhm.
What did you think of this?
I think this is a great game for Street Fighter fans,
Okay,
and I
so
tweeted that out.
I'm in the opposite I'm in the opposite boat here. I'm not a Street Fighter player, right? I haven't really played Street Fighter very much over the years, but I was into Street Fighter 2 briefly, and just like they seem like they're totally off the reservation of what they're doing with this series now. Like what this isn't like this has no resemblance to Street Fighter 2 or Street Fighter 1 like at all, dude. And it's like
Oh no, I said in my tweet today Street Fighter 4, I personally don't like the direction they took Street Fighter with Street Fighter 4. Like Third
Yeah.
Strike was the last Street Fighter that I was invested in. And ironically enough, that was the last 2D Street Fighter they did as well, I think.
Hmm.
And then the series went 3D. But it didn't go 3D in the way that I liked it. I didn't like the art style for I didn't like, and they just kept with that same art style all the way up till now. And I just don't like the game. I don't it's too technical. It's kind of slow paced. It's not slow, I guess. When you reach pro play levels, it's not really that slow, but it's not flashy enough for me, right? Like
Hmm.
I like games like Blaze Blue, uh um
Well, it's ironic
uh
you say that though, because this one is like really flashy. Like shit,
it
like
doesn't
explodes
it,
off characters when you're hitting them. Like tons of like color explosions and shit. Like
yeah, it just doesn't. It's not. That's not the shit I'm going for. Like the moves don't look flashy. If that makes any sense. Like yeah, they're explosions and shit like that. But at the end of the day, I know when I watch a Street Fighter match, it's going to be the same footsie shit. Like they're gonna be like going back and forth, going back and forth. Oh, I'm gonna do a
you're
5 hit
watching
combo.
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's not like Marvel versus Capcom, right? Like people do like fucking 30 hit combos, or when you watch fucking Tekken, when they're fighting and
yeah.
they get the bounce, they get that one bounce and they just do combos off that shit. Like that shit's really cool to me. And it's really kind of flashy. Which is funny because I don't even think Tekken's that flashy, but it's flashy esque um in a way. But for some reason, Street Fighter just doesn't do it for me. So I think the game looks really good for Street Fighter fans. They're actually gearing this game towards Street Fighter fans because more information, they're tweeting more information out as we speak.
Hmm.
They actually have one of the actual announcers that's like that hosts like the Team Spooky events and the Evo tournaments and everything. He's actually one of the voice announcers for the game,
Hmm.
commentators for the game. So I think that's pretty cool. Like they're actually embracing the fighting game community, and I think that's a huge win for the fighting game community. That these two communities, or the developer and the community, is like one now. Um,
Yeah, which they missed on
but
that big time with five.
exactly, and they missed on the big time with like Marvel versus Capcom Infinite and all that shit like that. So I think this is a huge win for the fighting game community and Capcom. I think, unfortunately for casuals, I think we're still gonna be like, it's Street Fighter. Like, and
Well,
that's how I looked at
dude,
it.
I think the thing is this. Well, this is why though, because I think a lot of casuals probably played the older Street Fighter games. I mean, people our age probably did, and
Hmm.
this looks nothing like that. It has no resemblance to that Street Fighter at all, and it's like they've totally like lost me with that, you know. Because dude, I
Yeah.
bought Street Fighter 4 as a casual back in the day, way back in the day when it came out in like 2008 or 2009, whenever that was, and
Yeah.
I totally was with you. I didn't like what they did with it. I was like, this isn't what I remember Street Fighter being like. You know, it's just like I don't find it enjoyable look. And the other thing is the aesthetic of this game. Like the characters like don't look good. Like the way they're designed. Like Chun Li looks fucking weird, dude. And Ryu, like, dude, Ryu is jacked, like fucking crazy jacked. Like, dude, in Street Fighter 2, he's like really kind of like thin. Like he's not like he's a more leaner fighter, you know? And this he's like a fucking like he looks like he's on fucking steroids, dude. Like it's insane. And like Chun-Li's thighs are absolutely gigantic. Like it's like it's absurd to watch. So that's the other aspect that I don't find enjoyable. But the funny part about it is though I'm watching this trailer, dude, these animations, the character animations on the attacks and shit are fucking incredible. Like they look amazing. Like I'm like watching the movement. I'm like, dude, this shit is so fluid looking. Like it's fucking nuts. But that's like the only positive I'm really taking out of it, and I don't think that's gonna draw people in. You know, most people are gonna focus more on the aesthetic and the way the characters look, and like you said, the actual gameplay, how the gameplay looks, which I just don't
Yeah.
think is gonna be kind of what casuals are looking for. You know?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, the animations and everything look fluid. It's just, to me, when I saw the actual gameplay, like as fluid as the animations looked, it still was Street Fighter at the end of the day. And I was just like,
Mhm.
they didn't change it up enough for me. Because like I agree with you, like Ryu's buff and everything, and he's been buff since 4. Like that's
Yeah,
just, and
what he
Chun
is
Li's
now.
been, Yeah, and Chun-Li's been like that since 4. Like, all the characters have been beefed up, and I remember actually when 4 came out, a lot of people hated that art style, but then they just embraced it.
Yeah.
I
I don't like it.
actually don't
I like the older look personally.
I don't I don't mind it. I think the series had to evolve. I think it was a great way to bring the series 3D without going too anime.
Mhm.
Um, they didn't embrace the whole anime style. They just went like a whole different route with it. And I like that. It's not my cup of tea, but I actually liked it, and I actually like that they did it and that it works for what Street Fighter is today.
Mhm.
You know, because I don't look at Ryu as the older Ryu. I look at him as what he is today now. And I think that speaks volumes for how they nailed that character's progression as far as that. But he still has the old flair of the old Ryu, especially with Chun Li as well. The only character to me my favorite character, Ken, he's changed like all the time. Every Street Fighter, he's changing his haircut and everything like that. They can't nail his character down, unfortunately. But yeah, that Chun
Mhm.
Li and like Bison and all those other characters, they still look the same, and I think they did a good job at updating them. Like I said, I just didn't like the direction they took the game from Third Strike to 4 and everything of that nature. So uh I'll be honest, to me they took it's more technical but less technical. Like, you can do parries and stuff like that, and I think you can do parries in this game as well in Street Fighter 5. But it's just more technical stuff. I don't know. I have to really play it just to get into it, but I'm not really a Street Fighter fan anymore because it's like yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Fair enough. All right, let's move on. Next game they show a couple more indies was Tunic. So this game came out a few months ago, and I was like puzzled why they were showing this. And apparently, this game's not on PlayStation right now. I
No, it
guess
was an Xbox exclusive.
I didn't know that. So it's coming out in
Yeah.
September. I think was the date they gave. And I'm like, fuck, dude. No wonder I haven't fucking played this. I didn't know it was an Xbox exclusive. Um,
Yeah, DJ was talking about this game all the time.
no,
He told us about this game all the time.
Yeah, I know he did, but I didn't know it was an Xbox exclusive, dude. Like I never,
Yeah.
I don't remember him talking about that. So yeah, I don't know. Like I've been meaning to play this, but apparently I would have had to play it on Xbox. So it's coming out September 27th. I'm probably just gonna wait till then, I think, to play it. But yeah, this game looks fucking dope, dude. Like
Oh
absolutely
yeah,
awesome.
he told me it was fucking dope. He was like, "Yo, if you like Zelda,
Yeah.
you're gonna love this shit." So
hmm
I have it on Xbox. So I'm just gonna play it on Xbox. Because I was looking forward to playing that game, but then something else came out around that time, and I started playing that.
Well, it came out in the middle of that flurry of games, you know.
Ah, that's what it was.
In
Yeah.
February and March. Yeah, it got lost in there for me. So I'll probably just wait till it comes out on PlayStation. But yeah, the game looks fucking awesome. Next game they showed was a game called Season: A Letter to the Future, and I'll be honest with you, I have no idea what this game is. Did you get
Wait, it was called
anything out of
what?
it? Season: A Letter to the Future.
It's like I think it's a narrative based game. But yeah,
Yeah,
like
it
you
looks
said,
like it, but
I, I have no idea what it's about though.
me either, man. I got nothing out of it. So, yeah,
Yeah.
we can move on. So the last thing they showed, and this is really kind of, I think, honestly, what saved the whole presentation, though. Like it turned it from to decent, you know, for me was
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 16, dude. Naoki Yoshida came on screen and talked about the game a little bit, and then they showed a trailer. And Montreal, this is going to be a controversial game, I think. What do you think about this?
Well, I already know what you're gonna say, and I'm about to say it.
hmm
Hey, yo, old school Final Fantasy fanboys, y'all can suck my dick. This shit looks fucking awesome. I'm an action game person, and this shit looks fucking dope. Like, yo, I can't wait to get my hands on this game.
hmm
When I saw that air combo, I was like, oh, this is it for me.
hmm
You orgasm, instant orgasm. Then I saw the summons. Oh, whew, they got
Yeah,
summons back now.
yeah, yeah.
So
So this game, I mean, it looks like a full on action game, like a proper actual action in game. Not sorry, DJ, but not Final Fantasy 15 bullshit, whatever that was. It looks like a real proper action game. And the thing that stuck out to me with this trailer is, dude, is there not going to be a party in this game?
I don't think so.
Yeah, like, is this going to be one character and you play that character the whole game and there's no party? Like, maybe people walk around with you, but like everything they showed so far is, I mean, obviously they may be withholding shit, but like, I mean, they were showing a character, like the character at some point in the trailer was like level 30 ish. Like, that's pretty deep in the game for no one else to be with you. So, um, yeah, that's a really interesting departure, if that's the case, from normal Final Fantasy to me. Very ballsy. And it shows Yoshi P's influence within Square, that he is actually able to make a game like this and it be a mainline Final Fantasy game, you know? Um,
What I think is going on, and from what I'm looking at from the trailer, just work with me here. I think you ever watch, well, you don't have to watch anything. Like you know shows like JoJo's Bizarre Adventures and stuff like that,
mhm.
or other shows. I'm trying to think of another show that kind of does the same concept where like you have stands,
Yeah.
or you have, or oh, Naruto's a good example, right? We got the Nine Tails demon. The
Yeah.
demons are inside somebody.
The Biju.
Yeah, the Jinchuri, the Jinchurikis, whatever what they call those
Well, the
people, the
monsters
demon.
are called Bijus. The characters who had them inside them were
Yeah,
Jinchurikis.
yeah, and I think from what, because I'm watching the trailer again, and I think your character is Infinite. Like Infinite is inside of him,
Yeah, like their
and
avatars for the icons.
and I think each god that they showed, each summon they showed, is probably a land that controls one of the
One of the
summons.
icons, yeah.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, that makes sense for it to be a single player, single party esque game.
Well, think about part of the trailer. There was a point where one guy was talking to the main character, and he goes, "You know, if we do battle, we're gonna shake the island to its core or whatever." And then they showed the two of them, what appears to be the two of them fighting later as icons, like literally a second later. You know,
Hmm.
so I think your theory is correct. I think it's a really good theory. I didn't even think about it until you said it though, which is funny. Um,
Yeah, and I think, I mean, it could be the case that we have a party, um, but I think it would still be an action RPG, like on the scale of like maybe Near or something of that nature. I'm trying to think of like another action RPG where your builds
better
actually,
version of Tails, probably.
yeah, yeah, where your builds actually matter and stuff like that. Yeah, better version of Tails is a really good example actually.
No, these
Um,
fucking summons look incredible. Oh my god.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
He's got a
because
thing.
I
He's got a thing with these things, by the way, with the icons in Final Fantasy. Because Final Fantasy 14 is literally all about them. You know, like the entire story is about them, pretty much up to a certain point. And
okay,
yeah, go
so
ahead.
work with me here, right? Work with
Mhm.
me. What if this is like a Neo esque game, right? Where you are that single character, but you can switch out your summons. Like your
I
summons are
think
your
that's what
like.
it is, dude. If you look at the gameplay portions, there's 3 images under your health bar,
I was just
and
about to say that. Yeah.
yeah, and they look like the icon's icon, I guess. I don't know how to say that any better. And yeah, you're totally right, dude. I'm watching the trailer again. If you look at the end, the very end of it, they show a bunch of the icons and then they show a human right before they show it. And they do like a little quick montage of like 4 or 5 of them like that.
Hmm.
I think you're totally right. That character is that icon, you know, or has that icon within them or that power within them, you know. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. Like, I think you hit the nail on the fucking head, dude, with that.
Yeah, and I think
So,
you're probably going to be able to switch out, like swap them on the fly while you're fighting and do different combos and different
yeah, it's gonna
styles.
be
And
Mega Man esque where you fight these people and you steal their icon and you get their
yep,
powers.
yep.
Yeah, man. No, that's fucking. That's actually, dude. You're putting that out. That's fucking dope, dude. This is. Yeah, I'm actually way more excited than I was. I was like watching it the first time. I was kind of, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I was a little tepid about it. I'm like, it looks pretty good. Like, it definitely looks good, but I don't know the way you're talking about it now. I'm like, oh fuck, this actually sounds really fucking cool. And if the combat is like got enough depth to it that it's like actually like, not gonna say challenging. I'm sure they're not gonna make it that hard, but is like there's some thought that needs to be put into it, the way you build your character and shit. Like, dude, I don't know. This could be a really good game. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, no, man. It looks. I think it's gonna be. I mean, honestly, I have no doubt that Yoshi P is gonna make the game incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually super stoked that he's the helm of this one and not Nomura. This is, I don't know. The trailer wasn't corny. Like it was just a really good fucking trailer. It wasn't like 2005 ish. Like
Yeah.
Nomura style is 2005, y'all. Like, come
Oh
on,
my
man.
god.
Yoshi
Yeah.
P is like he's here and now. Like this is his style. And I think Final Fantasy 14 actually set the standard for like Final Fantasy games going forward. Like you can't go
Yeah.
back after setting that story standard, bro.
He's man. He's a really impressive dude. I'm sorry. I like have like I kind of have a crush on him, like straight up, because he's just like, bro. He's so fucking cool, man. Like he's just like he's a really honorable person that like sincerely takes his job extremely seriously, and he executes it like to perfection almost, like
Yep.
he's just so good at what he does. Like these game like dude, Final Fantasy 14 blows me away at how good that game is, and I have no doubt that this game is going to be of a very high quality, which another thing that reinforced that for me though is that they they didn't date it, they gave us a time window of summer 2023 for this game's release. And the way he's been talking about this game in recent months is, dude, the game is content complete. He literally has said that the game is content complete. um so, and they're literally just working on polishing and cleaning everything up. And you can actually tell in this trailer, if you watch some of the gameplay segments again, there's definitely some rough edges they need to clean up, in terms of
Mm-hmm.
some of the animations and even like the way numbers are shown and stuff, and some of the UI elements. Like they're not fully completed, from what I can see. But dude, they have a full year like to get the shit done, So I'm like, I have full confidence that this game is going to come out and be like in perfect shape. So yeah, man, this I'm pretty excited about this one. This is a big one. I think Final Fantasy 15 was, it's a divisive game. Some people love it, some people hate it. But I think it's about time for Final Fantasy to kind of like get back on track. So
Well, you know what's funny? You might like this. This is probably why you have a huge crush on him. One of his favorite games when he was growing up was Tactics Ogre.
dude, he's a fucking man, bro. I'm just man, he's my hero. I love him. No, dude, like no, you want to know why? I can see that being true, because the like Tactics Ogre has a really deep fucking story, dude. Like in a really deep lore, that is like way there's way more to it than you would think playing it. It's like, but if you actually like pay attention and read some of the side shit that's in the game, like the lore entries and stuff, and you read about the game, and dude, it's insane. And he puts that same kind of effort into Final Fantasy 14 story. Like Final Fantasy 14 is so deep, there's so much lore there in that series. And so I can totally see that. I can see the influence there for sure.
Yep.
But anything else you want to say about this before we move on?
No, I'm just I'm waiting. I'm ready for the game to come out. It looks really good. Even when they showed the very rough edges of the game, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be a really good game. But then they showed this, and now I get the hype, and now I'm hyped for it. They've drawn me in. So
Yeah, they're I think they're confident too, clearly. So all right. Let us move on. We got another game to talk about, another game reveal. This past weekend, EA and Respawn announced the sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It is Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And it was a short cinematic trailer. They showed Cal, and they showed what appears to be the villain probably for the next game.
mhm.
Um, and there was no gameplay shown, but they said 2023 for this game. um Montrell, how does this one strike you? You excited about this?
Yes and no. So there were rumors of there being a second player of the character. So I am excited about that. I am actually impressed they improved the cow motto itself. It doesn't look as janky as it did before.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the motto itself looks Cal himself looks nice, like looks presentable. um, uh, the trailer looks really dope. I'm actually excited that they brought a lot of the stuff from the expanded universe. So
Mm.
I actually like that, and I actually like that they're not going with the same.
So is
They're
this
not
character from
following.
the Sith guy? Is he from the
He's
expanded
from
universe?
yeah, he's I want to say he's from the Mandalorian actually.
Oh, okay,
Um
interesting.
uh yeah, I think I'm trying to remember where I saw him from, either the Mandalorian or the Clone Wars series. Um
That's a really cool tie-in.
yeah, so I think it's really cool that they're expanding upon that. They're kind of getting away from like the mainline series, which is really cool. And people are speculating. I don't think the guy in the tank is Star Killer, but everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's Star Killer!" I'm like, "It's not. It's not Star Killer. Star Killer is one of the EUs.
What if he
He's the
is though?
Legends."
What if he is Montrell?
My fucking god, I
Would you
would
be
hate
how
myself.
hype would you be?
I wouldn't be hype at all.
Really?
They are
Okay.
gonna nerf the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
Like this dude pulled the Star Destroyer. Don't take that away from me. Just let me have that. If you have him pulling the Star Destroyer out the
He
sky,
comes
let
in
me
and
have that.
he gets like force pushed to like immediately and it's just
Yeah,
like a little
man.
bitch. Yeah.
They're gonna nerf the shit out of him. So I don't want it to be Star Killer. I think it's gonna be another character they had in the previous games. I can't remember his fucking name, but he was on the level with the Night Sisters, and he was one of the Jedi that left and was trying to take over the power for the Night Sisters and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's that character. In my because he gets at the end of that fight sequence, you don't kill him, he just gets swallowed up into the ground by the Night
Hmm.
Sisters, and that was it.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that's who it is. But people are speculating that it's Star Killer. I think people want Star Killer to come back so bad, and I understand, but guys, I think we just gotta let him stay in the past. I don't want him to come back, not in this climate. I just don't. It's not that I don't doubt respawn. I don't think developers know what to do with a character of that magnitude. Like, there's
Hmm.
nowhere you can fit him at into the current lore of Star Wars. Just let him be a legend. So that's where I stand on it.
Yeah, so I mean I don't have much more to say than you. I mean I'm excited for it. I liked Fallen Order. I thought it was good.
Yep.
I think this game, I think a sequel but more refined and a darker plot is a very appealing notion for me. I like the fact, like, where else would the story go for Cal at this point, right? Like dude, like he is, they know who he is now, like, right, like he's a fucking wanted fugitive in the world of the Empire, like, so his whole life is just like just being on the run all the time. So like where else were they going to go with this story, you know? I think things are going to be a lot more tense for him in this game than they were in the first. I mean, things were tense in the first too, but not nearly as much. I think he's probably a high priority target at this point. And he like, to be honest, he's not really that good of a Jedi overall. Like, he's not super powerful, you know. So it's gonna be fun to watch him stand up, like go up against like a proper like Sith baddie who's probably much more powerful than the Inquisitors we were fighting in the first game. So
Yeah.
that'll be interesting. And honestly, seeing what maybe little cameos they do. You know, I mean, Vader was in the first game, so we'll see if he comes back at all, if he's involved in any real way, or if the Emperor, you know, is involved. That would be interesting. I'm kind of hoping not, to be frank. I'm kind of hoping that they get away from that as much as they can. I could see those two being involved to some degree, but dude, if we see like, you know, if we see like fucking Han or fucking Leia or any of those, like, no, bro, like, please don't do that shit. Like, Star Wars does that shit way too much already with the small universe syndrome where everybody fucking knows everybody, you know, it's like everybody runs into everybody at some point. It's like, no, dude, like, we don't need that. So I'm kind of hoping this is its own story. And it's kind of focused around more characters that we don't know from the mainline movies, but you know, we'll
Yeah,
see.
I 100% agree with you. I
Yeah.
think I hope they continue to go because you can kind of tell in the Fallen Order they had to rely on nostalgia,
Hmm.
um, which is
At
a
least a
whole
little bit,
other.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, at least a little bit. I did say a comment earlier today, or hold on, real quick. I'm sorry.
Mm. Well, we got some breaking news, guys. I'll get into it in a second once Montreal comes back and
What's up?
finishes his thought. No, go ahead, finish your thought.
So I'm actually glad. As much as I hated on, I don't hate the character Cal, right? I don't
Right.
hate that he's a white guy. I don't hate none of that. I don't hate white people. I hate that because like a lot of people were saying like, oh, you hate like Star Wars fans were saying like you hate white people and stuff.
No,
I'm like, no,
I
I
mean
don't hate white people.
it's a boring choice for Star Wars at this point. But yeah,
I'm actually glad seeing the reactions that Kenobi is getting right now. I'm
true.
actually glad that Kyle is a white guy because what the fuck? We wouldn't have got Fallen. We wouldn't have got this game. What was it called again? Uh
Survivor.
Survivor. We wouldn't have got this Survivor if he wasn't who he
It's just
is.
so shitty though. Like, man, why is the Star Wars fan base such shit? Like, like no,
I don't
I
know,
mean, come
man.
on, man. Like, bro, like what is wrong with people, man? Like why why is it so full of racists? Like, I don't understand that. Like, I don't even like that you're saying that, dude. Like that to me is like such that puts us in such a bad place if the idea that the main character's black character would like kill the potential of a sequel because people are so upset about that fact. Like that's insane, dude. Like I don't know.
Dude, the side
So
character in or the main villain, quote unquote, in Kenobi is a black woman, and
I
people
know
are
people are losing their
up in
mind right
arm.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're saying the character's written bad, and I'm like, the character is not written bad. Like the lore makes sense, everything he's making sense, but they are just up in arms and saying wokeness and everything like that. When Star Wars has honestly
wait,
always
they're
been political.
what?
Yeah, man, it's really the discourse behind Star
Oh,
Wars for the last couple days. I'm surprised you haven't seen it, bro. It's been really toxic.
I've seen like bits and pieces of it. I'm not like I'm not watching the show and I'm not really following it at all. So I saw like Ewan McGregor's video that he did and a couple other things, but yeah, I'm not like following it deeply, dude. Are like people? Oh my
People are messaging the actress
god.
on Instagram and like threatening her and like,
Yeah, I heard
yeah,
about that.
you
Yeah.
only got this job because of diversity, and it's like, bro, what? Like, why are
What
we
are they
doing this, yo?
talking about? Like, what the fuck is going on, bro? Like, oh my god, yeah, I totally don't get that, dude. Like at all. Where does this come from with Star Wars? Like Star Wars has actually been pretty progressive. Like I don't like where does that come from? I don't. It's weird, man. That's fucking weird, dude. Like
Yeah, you're right. For me, it started with the Force Awakens when Finn was like, revealed or whatever, and he took off his helmet and he was a stormtrooper and he was black. I didn't know the Star Wars fan base was racist until he took off his helmet.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, yo,
Uh,
are you serious? And
well,
people were just like, why are the stormtroopers black? What about the clones and stuff like that? And I'm like, bro, the clones have been
they've
done.
been gone, man. Like, dude, did this happen? Do you remember? I don't know. I wasn't watching the movies when they came out, but did this happen with Mace Windu, like in the prequels? I don't think so.
I don't think no, it didn't.
But
It didn't
everybody loves
happen.
Samuel L. Jackson, so I guess it's fine, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's
he gets a pass. He's
yeah.
Samuel
When
L.
it's like a
Jackson. Like,
no-name black actor, though, oh, that's a step too far. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck, man?
well, they're already upset about Ray, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then then we get this black stormtrooper. Like, who the fuck do he think he is, being a stormtrooper and fighting in the galaxy where there are like tons of 28 million different species of fucking aliens and shit like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's when I realized that the fan base is fucking racist, and they just got worse from there. It just went downhill fast from there. So yeah, I don't know, man.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, whatever the
What's this
case.
breaking news, man?
All right. So, I mean, do you want to talk about Sonic first, or you want to do this breaking news?
Just do the breaking news.
All right. So I just saw this. I was looking at the Star Wars article, and there was another article for this, and I just clicked into it. So BioWare apparently announced Dragon Age 4's name today.
Oh
It's
my
called
god.
Dragon Age Dreadwolf, and Dreadwolf is the character Solus from Inquisition, apparently, who is like the
Mm,
villain.
okay. So where are they going with this? They're gonna take it. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if you play as him or not, but
That's
yeah,
pretty interesting.
I'm not sure. So Oh, actually, they said you have no need to worry about not having met our antagonist just yet. So I think you might be playing as him in this game.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and that's really all they said though. They didn't say much else. It's just this is the name. Who's the Dread Wolf? His name is Solus. Blah blah blah. And there was some lore they talked about a little bit. So, but yeah, I mean, does that excite you? Do you believe this game is still coming out? We're getting closer to it, I guess. This is one more step.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We have to with BioWare. You never know, man. You never know. So
Yeah. Well,
we'll
they
see.
said while the game won't be releasing this year, we're growing closer to that next adventure. So
Okay,
yeah,
I'm actually
maybe next
excited
year.
for it. I hope they got away from Frostbite. That's all I can say.
I think they
That's
did.
all I can.
I think they did. I think EA actually finally learned their lesson with that shit. Respawn might have been the one that taught them that. So
Yeah.
all right. So yeah, that happened. Let's move on, Montrell, to probably the thing you're most excited about this week. So Sonic Frontiers, the Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter account revealed our first gameplay preview and showed the open world and the movement and everything like that. And I mean, before you start talking about this, I just want to preface this by saying this has gotten a very, very overwhelmingly negative reaction on the internet. People think this game looks like shit. So, what do you think?
So first off, I did read some of the caveats. This is like the first or second build of the game or whatever the case may be. I don't know. You can tell the game is really, really rough. And then the sections they showed us, they were specifically designed to show us certain things. So yes, there aren't any enemies right now they're not showing because they're showing the exploration and things of that nature. So far, I actually love what they're doing with the fucking game. I actually love the open world mechanics of it, or the open world aspect of it. I love the way he moves, the momentum that he gives, and everything of that nature. I love all that shit.
Yeah.
I think this is a much needed break. It actually looks like it melded adventures and the boost games to one cohesive like game. Like he was just running throughout the field, like it felt like the opening trailer, the opening sequence or intro to Sonic CD. And a lot of people are like, yo, I can finally play like I want to play in Sonic CD, where he's just running through a field and everything like that. And that's how I feel. I think a lot of players, and this is where the Sonic fan base gets on my fucking nerves. And you know what? DJ was right. I gotta side with him on this one again. I'm slowly starting to be anti light player. Because the
yeah.
The way that the fan base was reacting to this is fucking ridiculous. They were saying, "Oh my god, this game looks fucking terrible. Where's the boost at? Where's this at? Where's the momentum at, bro?" And it's like, bro, did we watch the same game? Like, even if there were non-Sonic fans looking at this game, like, yo, this game looks fucking dope. Sonic fans were like clamoring at the fucking mouth just to like make video. They were running to make videos to show how negative.
There's so many videos about this shit.
Oh my.
Dude, I'm like sitting here like I saw like Skill Up said some shit. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Like
Young Gear. When I saw Young Gear, I'm like, oh, it's over. Young Gear made a fucking negative.
He's in it. Oh no. You read the Reddit post first, you know? No, he doesn't still do that. No. Oh my fucking god, bro. Oh my god. That guy is super successful. It's hilarious. That guy's super successful, and I literally can't understand how. Like I don't know. I don't.
Even shouts out to Young Gear.
I mean, like, not to disparage the guy. Like, I mean, I'm sure he's a hardworking guy, and like he's got a very good speaking cadence. You know, I think that's part of his appeal. But like, I mean, some of his videos, he's just reading a Reddit post. He doesn't even offer an opinion. Like, it's like, I don't know. But it's just fucking.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
When I saw Young Gear video, I was like, "Fuck me, this game's dead."
Yeah, it's like that mainstream. Like it's gotten into that. Like when Skill Up's making a video, Young, we're in it now, dude. Like the YouTubers are coming, man.
Yeah, and I feel like they're all doing it because of clout. Like, because I
well, it's an easy dunk. It's an easy dunk. Everybody's dunking on the game right now.
Yeah, because you know what it is. I think it's because Sonic is easy to dunk on, because he had so many bad games, right?
Well, okay,
So,
okay. Can I jump off this point real quick?
oh yeah, no,
Because
go ahead.
I have an opinion on this. Okay, I think this game looks interesting. I'm genuinely intrigued. Like they're actually doing something new with Sonic, and that is what I think. This is what I don't understand, okay? Because the Sonic has had a lot of bad games in a row recently, especially the 3D games. And Sonic hasn't really been good in that realm in a long time. And suddenly they're trying to do something different and everybody has a problem with that. Like so you're like clamoring about boost and everything like that and you're like but the all those games that had that were shit. Like nobody likes them. They're all
So,
everybody's super upset about. Like I am confused because I'm like no, I'm even more confused on the influencer side where the influencers have been bashing the shit out of Sonic for fucking ever and Sonic's trying to do something different and now we have a problem with that too. Like I don't I don't know, dude. I don't know.
so,
I'm like I
so
think people are being really unfair to this to be honest.
no,
Like
you're so where you're at right now is where I'm at right now, but
yeah.
I'm like way more in depth in it, right?
Yeah,
So it's
you
like,
are right, absolutely.
yeah, so like, I feel like we've been playing with the boost games for like the past, I said decade, but to be honest with you, I think the past like 16, 17 years.
Since the
Um,
Sonic the Hedgehog on PS3 and Xbox.
yeah, like since '06. Yeah, so since
Yeah, that's
'06 we've
Sonic
been playing with,
'06. Yeah,
yes. So we've been playing with the boost games because Sonic '06 was the last like quote unquote adventure style game. And then after that it went boost. And I think Unleash was after that, and then that had the boost mechanic introduced into it. I believe I want to say that I think that was the game
is
that
that the one
introduced
where
it.
he turned into a werewolf?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Which people say like I say the same thing. The daytime stages where he's actually Sonic, good. The nighttime stages where he's a werewolf, fucking terrible. Um, and the only other game that I liked that had a re-release, but the re-release was fucking terrible. The remaster was Colors. I love Colors. Colors was a really good, even though it's a boost game, was a really good, well designed game.
Hmm.
And it was on the Wii, but it was stuck on the Wii. Um, so I don't know. Like you said, Sonic is finally trying something new, and like I've been one of the people like fuck the adventure. I mean, I love the adventure style games, but they are janky, and fuck the boost games because they are one dimensional in my opinion. The problem I have with Sonic fans, especially newer Sonic fans, is I actually know it's both of them. There are not too many fans like me who want to see the series evolve. A lot of people didn't like Sonic Lost Worlds, what people call it Sonic Galaxy or whatever, because Sonic had a run button. I thought it was a nice switch, change of pace. I liked Sonic Lost Worlds. It was okay. It wasn't the best Sonic game, but it was something fucking different.
Yeah.
In my opinion. The problem with the entire fan base, or not the entire fan base, the 2D people understand this. The 3D people don't understand this. This is why I hate the Boost fan base so much, because they're so focused on going fast.
Yeah.
I saw so many comments saying, "Why is he running slow? He's not running that fast." Are we watching the same game? Like he has to build momentum from Adventures and the 2D Sonic games. These is where that fan base kind of melds and becomes one, because we understand momentum in the Sonic games and how important it was for the
Yeah.
physics of the game to be right before you added a boost mechanic to it. I feel like the boost to play people, they don't understand what the fuck that is, and they just like, he needs to go fast, he needs to go fast, he needs to go fast, and it's like Sonic has not always been about going fast. That was his gimmick. He always had good level design in the retro games and the Sonic Adventure games. There's always been good level design around it, and rewarded you for using your speed efficiently. Now, in some of the later boost games, yes, they do that, but they do it to a lesser degree, in my opinion. And this game looks like they're going back to that, where they're kind of melding both styles, where you do get rewards for using your speed adequately. And we haven't even seen like the actual levels yet, because from what I hear, there's actual levels that you go into, almost like a Super Mario 64 s type deal, where you go into the painting and then you go into a level.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's something like that where you go into like a section and then you go into actual level or whatever. So I'm just waiting for more information to come out. But the crazy thing about this, Justin, is Forces came out. I mean, when Forces was revealed and they showed gameplay of Forces, I swear to God, I feel like I was the only Sonic fan
Yeah.
in the fucking world who was looking at this shit and was like, "Oh my fucking God, this shit about to be ass."
Yeah.
Everybody else was like, "Oh my God, this game was fucking amazing. I get to make my own character. I get to do this. I get to do." And I'm like, what about the actual gameplay? I get to do this. I get to do. What about the actual gameplay? We saw the gameplay. The gameplay I saw wasn't fucking good at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then Forces came out. Everyone hated Forces.
Yeah.
And now this game's coming out. Everyone hates the game with the gameplay, but I think the gameplay was good. And everyone's like, "Oh, the gameplay fucking sucks. Why is this so stiff? Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that?" And I'm like, can we just wait? Like, the whole purpose of that trailer was to show the movement and everything, which I think looks really fucking good.
Well, and show you what
Everyone
it looks
else was
like in an open environment too, right? Because that's
exactly
something new, you know?
it was to show the exploration and how he moves in that environment and how everything would come together in said environment. I wasn't really too worried about the graphics. I wasn't really. Everybody's complaining about the graphics. Oh my God, why does it look like this? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Why does Sonic have stiff animations and all that stuff like that when he's doing tricks? And I'm like, the game's obviously not finished. It's not coming out till like next year or the end of this year. So they obviously have stuff they need to fucking finish. But my biggest thing is someone said, why are you critiquing the game? Like so harshly before it came out, and then someone put up a picture of the old Sonic from the movie, Sonic the Hedgehog movie, and how he used to look to how he look now. And like, this is why. And that's where I had the issue with the Sonic movies. As much as I love that movie and how much of a great change that was, I'm scared that gave the Sonic fan base and other people too much fucking power. Because now we can just bully anyone to do anything the fuck we want them to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're going to try to bully the Sonic team into changing this game to something that's just going to be another fucking Sonic Unleashed or Sonic Colors. And I don't want that. I really don't want that. I'm one of the few people who are saying, let's just wait it out. Let them try something new. If it doesn't fucking work, then it doesn't fucking work. Like they try something new with Lost World. They never return to the Lost World style at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then they went back to the same bullshit. Or actually, I don't even think we got generations after that. I think, and then they never visited anything else after that.
Yeah.
And it's like, and for the YouTubers and everything, like I'm very scared for the game, but in the wrong reasons. People are scared the game's going to be terrible. I'm scared they're going to turn it into a terrible game. And I'm like, I'm on Team DJ right now. I'm like, shut up and let the fucking developers do what they need to fucking do, because they obviously know a lot more than you, like they do,
Yeah.
like in this aspect.
I don't know. I think people are I think people are way too they take pre-release footage way too seriously.
Yeah,
And I think people are really bad at recognizing when to be concerned about something and when to not, right?
yeah,
Like for instance, like the Final Fantasy 16, right? I don't know what the reaction to that has been, but we brought up that the game doesn't look done yet. Like it's not release ready, clearly. There's some elements of that trailer, if you pay close attention, like animations don't look 100% there. There's UI elements that aren't 100% there, and stuff like that. I'm not concerned though, because they have the core. It looks like they have the core in place. They just need to clean these things up. And Sonic, the Sonic stuff, the Sonic footage they showed, like didn't they say that this is like really rough footage, but we want to show you what this is like that.
yeah, because they
They
announced it
weren't setting an
last year.
expectation that this is the fucking game. Get hype. Like
Yeah, they
and
said that, and they haven't showed the game since they haven't showed anything about the game since the trailer. I think either 6 or 7 months ago or something like
yeah,
that. So
yeah,
they obviously been working on this game, and they just wanted to show you like, hey, this is what we're currently working on right now.
yeah.
So
Yeah, and I think people are taking this way too much to heart, like because I mean, dude, like this game to me sounds really cool. I think the idea of an open world Sonic game is a really cool idea. Like open world games, right? Like especially what I'd call like platformers, right? Where you like a Mario 64 style. The idea of having that in Sonic is really intriguing because, dude, with Sonic, you can do all sorts of weird shit you can't do as much with some of these other games. Like Mario does it a little bit, but like Sonic can have like in their hub world just a bunch of these like obstacle courses, like challenge courses almost that like give you stuff, collectibles or whatever you want in the game, like currency or whatever they're gonna have, you know. And there's a lot of potential with that in Sonic that I think a lot of other series can't pull off as much, you know, like you're not going to see that in Banjo Kazooie, you know. Mario does it a little bit, but it's very light, you know, like there's sections of the game where there are these like challenge kind of courses and stuff like that, but there's only a few of them, you know. Sonic can like do it a lot more and probably do it even better than Mario. It's something that Sonic excels at.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of potential for the game, and I'm kind of with you. Like I hope the devs aren't taking things too much to heart today for whatever people are saying, because um I don't know. I just like they have a vision. I'm with you with the game community, dude. This is where I hate gamers sometimes is I think sometimes people are unwilling to accept a developer's vision. When a game comes out and it's not like good or not what you wanted, like I'm thinking about Mass Effect 3.
Mhm.
We were all disappointed in that game, but that doesn't give us a right to tell the developers what that they have to change it, you know. And we like bullied BioWare into making changes, and like ultimately I'm mixed on what they did, you know. I don't really think it changed anything that much for me, like personally. So to be honest with you, like I don't want to see that kind of thing. Like I don't want gamers to have the power to bully developers into making changes to what their vision is. You know, it's like what people have tried to do with FromSoft with the easy mode and stuff. Like they haven't listened, and thank God they haven't had to, because their games are fucking huge now. Like Elden Ring's massive. But in a different world, you know, like I could see FromSoft listening and adding something like that and diluting the experience of their game, the purity of their game, you know. And I don't think that would be a positive outcome for really anybody, you know.
Well,
um
this would be like a good conversation piece for like a later podcast or something like that.
mhm.
Like, when do developers listen? When
When
should
should
they
they
listen?
listen, right? Or
And when
when
should they listen?
when should we be able to give them feedback that they listen to?
Exactly.
I think so. To give a short answer, whenever they do a company does a beta, they're opening the field for feedback, right?
Hmm.
um the Sonic team here is they weren't doing that. They were showing us something, you know. They were showcasing what the game is going to look like. They weren't asking for feedback. Now, of course, I'm sure they're okay with getting feedback, but that wasn't the point of the post, right? There's a difference between a developer letting people play their game and asking them for feedback, or putting out a demo the way the Team Ninja does, or even Square does with games sometimes, where they put out a demo and they're specifically, they do it like 6-12 months before the game comes out. They're looking for feedback at that point, right? And that is like an okay place to give it. And then I'm thinking of other games where a game comes out and it's a game that is heavily balanced. You know, I'm thinking like MOBAs, or you know, more RPGs, like heavy system games where there's like metas and stuff like that. That's another situation where giving feedback is fine. But I think people take it too far a lot of the time, especially even in those situations. Like the way people talk to the developers in Apex, or other games like League, or Dota, or any of these games that are competitive, it's so toxic, dude. They're not giving, a lot of people aren't giving constructive feedback. They're just saying like, they're like, fucking nerf Wraith, nerf Wraith, It's like, I mean, okay, why? Like, you have to give a, like, that's not constructive to anybody, you know. And I think that a lot of this is why I get frustrated with streamers and their fucking influence. Is like, they complain about shit, and I'm sure they have reasons and they explain them, but like, like, I don't like the idea that a small group of people in any situation have power that affects everybody else, you know. And I think that's kind of what you're getting at here with the Sonic thing. Is it may seem like a lot of people, but it's probably just a very loud group of people, like a smaller group of people who are extremely loud right now. And
Hmm.
like, they could end up ruining a game that has potential because they're so fucking loud, and it's like the developers, that's all they're hearing, they're not getting anything positive from anybody, and at that point it's kind of hard to say, like, if you're in a situation where people are giving you feedback, lots of people, and it's all negative, and it's kind of hard to sit there and stick to your guns, like you're
Exactly.
so especially when you're selling said product to the people who are yelling at you, like, I don't know. So I'm with you. I definitely would be concerned, or I am concerned, I guess. But I don't know. I just don't like people influencing things when you're not getting a full picture of how the community feels, and I think streamers are horrifically, like, they're notorious for this at this point for me, where the influence they've had over Apex Legends is like super toxic to me. I fucking hate what Respawn has done with the game based off streamer feedback, in a lot of cases. And I find it really frustrating. Now, notwithstanding the positives we had with the game, there's still a lot of shit that's changed over the years that I'm just like fucking not about. Like, it really annoys me. So, yeah, I mean, I feel the same way here. This isn't streamers necessarily, but I guess the YouTubers are getting involved, like influencers, websites too. Like, there's a lot of websites dunking on this game too, and I don't think that's fair, because we don't even know when the game's coming out yet. You're thinking later this year, but dude, it might not be till next year for all we know. Like, we don't know that, so the game could be really far out, you know. So I don't know.
It's just I don't know. I'm watching all the, like, if you just type in Sonic Frontier, just like Sonic, the new Sonic game doesn't look good. Sonic gameplay really that bad? Sonic gameplay bad. This is bad, guys. Oh my god, this is pathetic. And it's like, bro, I don't. We haven't. I don't know. They actually said what the game was. I feel like a lot of people didn't read the fine print. They just watched the trailer and was like, "Where are the enemies at? Why does the world look so empty?" And da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, this is a section that they specifically made to show you one thing or two things: exploration and traversal. And that was it. And everyone missed the mark on that. Everyone was just like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not polished. Of course, it's not polished. It's not finished. It's not a finished product. Like, and maybe they should have put that fine print down there at the bottom. This is not a finished product, and it doesn't have that.
I
So
don't think that would have helped though, because think about how
yeah,
games get presented to us. They get presented to us in a much more polished state generally. Like, games don't do this very often. Where they show you like a really rough section of gameplay. Like, you're getting into like really niche situations where certain indies who have a really dedicated fan base will show you very rough gameplay. But like that, getting that from a AAA level developer is super rare. Like, it's not common. So a part of it is I do blame Sega a little bit for this somewhat.
oh yeah, 100%.
Um,
Because
they should know better.
they,
Like,
yeah, yeah. I think gamer. This is where I blame the developers because Gotham Knights had the same fucking
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
You
You can't
need to
present your
stop.
game in a way that looks bad. Like, you have to
Yes,
know
you
it
need
looks
to.
bad. You know.
You have to get people who actually know how to play video games. I understand you make the games, but just because a person makes a race car doesn't mean he knows how to drive the race car.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just because another person knows how to make a gun
Mm-hmm.
or a rifle doesn't mean he knows how to use that rifle to its fullest extent.
Yeah.
It's the same way the other way around. Just because you use the rifle, you may know how to repair certain things, but you don't know how to make a rifle from scratch, all the scientific stuff that goes into it and everything of that nature. So I feel like on Sega's side, they should have showed better gameplay because this gameplay was sent to IGN. IGN actually didn't play this game. This was recorded footage from Sega, and they should
Yeah.
have did a better job. So yeah, I agree with you
Agreed.
100% if you're
Yeah.
going to say that.
No, yeah, I don't know. It's unfortunate. It is. I mean, like, yeah, it's just like, I don't understand. Like, if I worked at these companies, like one of these companies that did this recently, like Gotham Knights is a good example. Like, dude, if I was in that office and I saw this trailer, they sent this out to like the company beforehand, like, and I was had any amount of influence in process of getting that released and made, I'd be like, guys, what the fuck are we doing? This looks like garbage. Like I mean, I probably wouldn't say it that way, but dude, it's like this doesn't look good, guys. Like you're not. This isn't gonna go over well, you know. So I don't.
Hmm.
I can't believe that like no one in the company was willing to say that, you know. But I can see it, you know. Like, dude, there's always these cultures at these corporations. I feel this way at work too, where it's like it's hard to be critical of things that you're not involved with. Um, it doesn't come off well. People look at it as being negative, even though it's like realistic. You know, it's like I don't know. So, um, yeah, kind of is what it is. But any other thoughts on this before we move on?
No, that's it. I hope Sega kind of sticks to their guns on this one. This is the one time I hope the Sonic team actually like sticks to their guns. I think what they have here is a very quality, or not very quality game. They have the potential to make one of the best Sonic games of all time, and I just really want them to stick to
Mm-hmm.
it instead of listening to fan feedback on a game that was just meant to show what they're currently working on. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. All right. That's it for news, Montrell. Let us move on to our final segment of the day. Guess the Metascore. So we did Diablo Immortal last week, and so this is what it's sitting at right now. So you guessed 6, I guessed 7.
Hmm.
The actual score right now. Now there's only 6 reviews, so this may change. We may revisit this, or maybe you can revisit it next week. It's at 881 right now. Uh,
Wow, holy
yeah, which is
shit.
insane on iOS, which is totally insane because this flies in the face of all the shit I'm seeing about this. Is dude, apparently, so this game is exactly what I think most people expected. It's a mobile game that is heavily monetized, but it's also supposedly a well-made Diablo game. Like plays really well and has like a good like a decent story and campaign and everything like that. But the game has heavy amounts of monetization at the end of it. So I'm finding that, you know, unsurprising, but the reaction to this game is extremely negative in that regard in terms of monetization, and yet the reviewers, like, I'm gonna guess they played the game in an environment where there was no monetization, um, which is very typical with situations like this. Because yeah, the game has gotten glowing reviews, like almost like 80s, 90s, like people saying that it's like a perfect you know, it's literally like a great Diablo game on a phone, you know, which maybe it might feel great, but like wrapped in a monetization model that is very predatory and I don't know, like not like super grindy, trying to make you spend money on shit is
Hmm.
interesting. So I don't know. I mean, did you actually download this game? You were joking with Snakes in the group
Yeah,
chat about that.
I was just trying to piss off
Jet,
Jet.
yeah, okay,
But no, I didn't download it. I might download it because I actually did download Apex Mobile,
yeah.
and it's
It's,
pretty
it's
okay.
probably a
It's
better
okay.
game than
Yeah, it is.
the desktop one. They have like characters that the desktop game doesn't have now. It's like fucking nuts.
Yeah, yeah. They have this character called Fade that's never apparently coming to console. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah. So,
Well, do you actually want to play this or not?
um, I don't think I do. It's one of those games where I usually only download mobile games like when I'm at work or something like that. If I have a job where I don't do that much work, well,
Hmm.
but unfortunately I do a lot of work at my job, so I won't have the time to play this at all. Um, and then even like when I want to play mobile games, I would like to play them like when I'm on a plane or something, and you have to have internet connection, you know, and sometimes that's not always viable on a plane. So
Right.
I
Yeah.
probably won't be playing it. So.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really surprised. It's I mean, this is what Blizzard does now, man. This is, I mean, they're making a lot of mobile games. Like this is what we can expect going forward. I like that is what it is, and I mean,
You
hopefully
know
that
what?
doesn't mean we don't get premium experiences, but at the same time, Blizzard is heavy on monetization. They have been for a long time, so I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Oh, excuse me. I was just gonna say that. I remember when a long time ago when we first started the podcast and Nintendo was going this route,
Mm-hmm.
um, with Fire Emblem Heroes,
Yep.
and I think because of Fire Emblem Heroes, we got a quality Fire Emblem game. So I'm hoping this will be the same with. I'm being positive to hope that this is the same for like Blizzard games. Like we are going to get quality Diablo game. Diablo 4 is coming out. I don't know when it's coming out, but it's coming out. But I'm hoping like the Warcraft games are fun, the Warcraft projects and stuff like that
Yeah,
and everything like
right,
that.
dude.
So
Oh my god.
yeah, I know that's a pipe dream, but
No,
I'm hoping, man.
that Warcraft game is like people are gonna ask, are you gonna make a proper RTS? And like, what are you talking about? We made one on the phone, man. Like, ArcLight Rumble. Like, it's an RTS on your phone. Don't you have a phone? Like, fucking
They are never gonna live that down. They
fucking
are never.
Christ, dude, kill me now. Like, yeah. So no, I have no hope for Warcraft at all. If anything, ArcLight Rumble's gonna fund more World of Warcraft expansions.
Yeah, that or fucking Overwatch projects. Hey man,
Fucking
I'm
god.
not a big fan of Overwatch, but like I said, yeah, that's.
Oh.
I think that's the direction they're going in now, and that's okay. As an old Blizzard fan, I know like DJ, he's a Overwatch fan, so I don't want to say he's new to Blizzard. I don't know if he played older Blizzard games, but for older Blizzard fans like me and you, like this is like totally different. And you know what? Maybe it's time for the company to evolve into something different.
I mean,
I
they've been
mean,
evolved though. No, this is my problem. Okay, like no, there's a period of Blizzard where their quality was unmatched in video
oh
games.
yeah,
You know,
100%.
like
Yeah.
I'm
You even saw
talking
that
like
in the original Overwatch. You saw the trailers. You saw that quality
yeah,
there, in
yeah,
my
but I'm
opinion.
talking like forget before Activision from like 1997 through like 2005.
Yeah.
Blizzard was peak video games for me. Their quality couldn't be fucking touched. Their games were flawless. Like, I don't mean like literally flawless. Like they don't have any issues. They definitely did. Warcraft 3
Yeah.
was messy, at times. But it doesn't matter. The core of the game was fucking amazing. Like, it's just like a fucking incredible video game. And you could say that about Diablo 1, Diablo 2, StarCraft 1, fucking Brood War, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3, World of Warcraft vanilla, even Burning Crusade, like all of that. And it was like an incredible fucking they were incredible. Their games were amazing, And like I mean I've talked about this on the show. If you've listened to us for a long time, you've heard all this from me, but it's like this is they changed when they merged with Activision very quickly, and we are now 15-16 years into that, and here we are. They're making mobile games that have shitty microtransactions that are trying to manipulate people into spending money, and it's like, yeah, it's still they still make quality games, like they feel good to play, but they're wrapped in an experience that's hard to enjoy because you're coerced into spending money. Like the game is literally lesser because they've put these microtransactions in. Like the game, like I'm sorry, there's just like I know we accept this stuff a lot, like microtransactions and stuff, and even I do it at times. Like I played Lost Ark for fucking 3 months and was really into that game, but that game's microtransactions are shitty too, and we put up with it to a certain degree, and like that game had enough gameplay where the microtransactions weren't like a hard requirement for anybody per se, but at the same time they're still there and they're still influencing the way the game is designed, and that's true here, and that's going to be true for probably every Blizzard game they make going forward. I know people would say that the Overwatch stuff, it's only cosmetics, and it's like, dude, like saying only cosmetic, like you are a fucking lemming. Like you're a lemming for the company. Like that's what they want you to think, like that it's only cosmetic, because it isn't only cosmetic. Like, yeah, sure, it doesn't affect gameplay, but it affects your experience playing the game. You are playing the
Hmm.
game and you are watching other people run around in these amazing skins that have these dope animations and shit, and like do all this crazy shit, and there's all these glowing effects, and they look incredible. Like that affects your experience playing the game. I don't care what you say about gameplay. Like I'm like aesthetic is part of gameplay. Like it is. Like that is part of it. That is something we evaluate when we are reviewing games. Like anybody that reviews games, that is a part of the evaluation process. Like it literally is. So it's not a defense to me, it being only cosmetic. Like it hurt Overwatch for me too. I didn't care about it that much. It didn't impact the experience that much, but it was there. You know, I'd rather it not be there. Like I think the game would have been better if it wasn't there, to be honest. But it is. That's what it is. That's modern gaming, dude. That's this is what we deal with now. And dude, Diablo Immortal, like I'm almost morbidly curious to download it and play it and just to see, you know, because I'm looking at gameplay right now and it actually looks like a fucking solid game, you know. But I want to see where they like ruin it. Where do they ruin it, you know? Because I know they do. It's in here somewhere. There's somewhere in this game where like there's some mechanic in this game that is heavily predicated on spending money, you know, and you know, I don't know. It's just shitty to see a company that I held in such high regard, you know, earlier in my life fall to such a degree that they are on the forefront of what like making games worse, you know, in ways that I think is really destructive. It just really sucks to see that, you know. Um
Yeah.
so I don't know, you know. I don't really know what else to say about it. Like I don't want to speak definitively about Diablo Immortal. I haven't played it, you know. I'm like, but I know Blizzard now. Like I don't even need to play it. I know what they do. I know how they are. You know, like I know them very well. So yeah, is what it is. But I think it's really irritating to see reviewers get manipulated, or if they're not getting manipulated, that's even worse. To give this game really high ratings, because what I'm betting is they probably didn't. If they weren't manipulated, they probably didn't play the game deep enough to see the shitty microtransactions, like them actually impact gameplay.
Yeah.
And I think that's annoying because that it's like everybody's like the perception of Diablo Immortal, like fans may feel one way about it, but people who are casual and don't like actually live in these communities are gonna go look at this game and be like, oh wow, it's got an 81 on Metacritic. That might be a really good mobile game. And then they get sucked in and they're another one of Blizzard's fucking cows that they're milking, you know, for money. So it's very insidious.
Well, as you can see, guys, we are still very passionate about Blizzard from the first episode to now.
I mean, I'm always going to be passionate about Blizzard. It's just dulled for me. I don't actively think about them very much unless they're in the news. Like I don't care about their games. I don't really want I'm not looking forward to anything they're making anymore. Like you know, I'm like I'm as out as I probably can be as like a fan of them, but at the same time like I have such a legacy with them that it's hard for me to ignore their stuff and ignore what they're doing actively, you know. So it's I mean I'm always gonna have that, like that's always gonna stick with me. Like dude, Warcraft 3 is literally probably one of my top 5 games of all time. It's like one of my favorite games I've ever played. Like straight up, you know. Like I'm never gonna lose that. So it's like seeing this like is always going to hurt. It's gonna hurt less and less as time goes on, but it's always gonna be there, you know. And
Hmm.
same with StarCraft. Like StarCraft, I fucking love that game. Like it's an amazing game, you know. But they don't make games like that anymore, you know. So yeah,
And not even the original, not even StarCraft 2 is as good as StarCraft 1. And it's
it's
not
not even
like
close. It's not even
that's
close.
that's not even like a nostalgia thing. That's like I recently like watched the whole StarCraft like movie thing that they do on YouTube where they play through their entire cutscenes and all that stuff and
Mm-hmm.
the dialogue and all that shit. And that storytelling is fucking unmatched, man. Like
Yeah,
Kerrigan is really the one of the best villains
yeah.
that no one talks about, and it's kind of wild.
I know it is funny, dude. I put her. She's in the upper pantheon of video game villains, you know.
Yeah.
And they did that before video game storytelling was even remotely taken seriously, you know.
Yep.
Um, like the way it is now with like you know Naughty Dog's games and a lot of Sony stuff. Like video game storytelling back then wasn't even a thought. Like people weren't even thinking about it. You know, like it's not even a thing that anybody cared about. But yeah, back then, man, there's some gems. There's some gems hidden out there. You know, FFT, Tactics Ogre, like we were talking about earlier. They're out there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to talk about Blizzard anymore.
Yeah.
So
All
let's
right.
wrap it up. We've been talking for like 2 hours, 40 minutes almost. All right, man. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we go?
No, sir.
All right. So, everybody, if you like this episode, please like the show, review the show, and subscribe to the show on whatever feed you are listening to it on. And please share it with your friends. If you'd like to interact with either of us on Twitter, you can do so at iTrap for the Hokage for Montrell. That is the number 4, not the word. I'm at ThunderNut01, and the show is at The Player's Take. If you'd like to send us a question, you can do so on Twitter, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. And that is it for us, guys. Like I said, I will be gone next week. Montrell will be doing this solo. So I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Montrell will see you next week. Bye.